You didn't think we were going to leave the year without doing one last episode, did you, ladies and gentlemen? Happy New Year's Eve from your friends here at the Sports Agents of Chaos podcast, your favorite NFL podcast that has been talking shop, talking gridiron for a good little while now. It's been a couple years, and we don't know when this is going to end. Maybe in 2026, truth be told, or it'll go way, way beyond that, and it'll surpass all of the podcasts in our wildest dreams. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of your favorite podcast, which is all headlined by fun football and chaos. It is the Sports Agents of Chaos podcast. Myself, in beginning the affair per usual, the Iceman, and with me on this episode, this is just a two-man crew tonight, a destructive duo between myself and the Podfather. Podfather, in episodes past, we could call this a champions club, but we can no longer call it that this time.
No, I mean we can.
I mean, we technically can, but it's not complete.
We can still. Well, I mean, it's not complete yet. It's still not complete technically. We still have the week 18 to go.
True,
Yeah.
but I mean, I've written it off. It's kind of over.
Okay, so we're not invoking the nuclear option then.
Like if I was in Justin's position, I would just be like, leave me alone.
I mean, listen. I say at the end of it, and listen, I'm riding a bit of a high. Okay, I mean, I've won one fantasy league championship so far this season. I'm 30 points up in another fantasy league championship. I just won my community pool for the week by not only getting the most games right, but also getting the tiebreaker on the nose
There we
by
go.
correctly guessing the points in the Atlanta Rams game from last night. So I'm feeling pretty good about myself. I think I'm going to take the nuclear option. I'm going to surprise Justin and try and pick all 16 games today and see what happens.
Well, I think the both of us are going to do that at this point. Then.
Absolutely. Justin's not here to defend it, so and plus Randolph here is getting lonely, so I need to see if I can add another friend.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, in case you, if you are a returning viewer to the show and are cluing in on this, which if you are, God bless you. even if you do keep up with our chaos, the champion-elect, as some would say, because he is the current very much the leader in the clubhouse. Justin is not here at this given moment. He has gone off into the sunset here on New Year's Eve, firmly believing he is going to be the championship winner no matter what in this case. He has what feels like a insaleable lead in the hashtag SAOC Pick Challenge standings at this point. So it's something to say the least. I guess we'll get into it in a little bit here on the show. What the main thing we'll be going off of, and already mentioning the Rams-Falcons game, what a disaster the last couple weeks of football have been for the Rams. Important games. Silence of the Rams, because they very much are not going to be the number one seed in the NFC this year.
Sure.
I don't think it's going to be a shot. But maybe they could revive it in some way in the wild card hunt. But we will be quickly going over the Week 18 schedule here in a couple of moments' time, highlighting the key games, giving a little bit of extra analysis on games that mean a little more than others, and just letting you know what is still up to play. Because honestly, we were discussing this pre-show, Rick, like with the fact that there were really no postseason or playoff spots that got clinched until week 14 or 15 ultimately.
Yeah.
There's still technically a lot to play for here, just in terms of seeding, positioning, and all that, and two divisions up for grabs this week as well. So week 18 in a season that has been, I would argue, our most chaotic season since we started the podcast in terms of with the NFL. It's only right that it shapes up to be a pretty chaotic week 18 here potentially to finish in. The two remaining people in the pick challenge, second and third place, we're gonna have fun and we're gonna pick all the games here. Like I said a little later on in the episode.
I mean, we have to do something because based on the way the points work out, no one's getting any regular jumping. Like the kids can't jump me, I can't jump you.
Yeah.
And I mean, theoretically, you could still beat Justin, but I mean, since he deferred his option, here we are.
and this is for us to have fun with. So. The Podfather and I will be picking plenty of games here in a little bit. I almost feel like we should do that once we finish up the start here, Podfather. So
I'm good with that.
What we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen, before we get to a sudden death version of the Pick Challenge finale, little sad version, is, ladies and gentlemen, we've brought this up before, even though the Games Master is not here, and really the games are better when Justin is here. We do still have trivia at home, but of course, as we all know, it is indeed the trivia at home. Basically, basically consider this as our version of, even though Bending Spoons, even though we don't have our games master here, we're going to find a way to still have a little bit of fun here when it comes to stuff. And the fun part with the trivia at home is that we evolve here on the podcast. That's what it is. Basically, some all of us constantly viewing other NFL podcasts and learning things. And we picked up a couple games here that have been trendy on podcasts here for a good while now. Not for us to feel a little late, but to be fair, we haven't got it scheduled. But the Podfather and I are going to debut a fun little game for us today. I'm sure if you've seen plenty of sports podcasts, even podcasts like movie and show podcasts, I'm certain you've seen this type of game before. It's going to be a blind rank, but specifically, like me testing the Podfather here, it's going to be fun. Rick, this is going to be a blind ranked keep or cut for. So I'm going to give you 8 NFL-related options based off of something specific, and you're going to have to pick keep or cut without knowing what is next.
Now, hold on. I got the perfect background for this. There we go.
Perfection.
Little bit of elf bowling for the fans at home there. Okay.
Beautiful. It's only right for what we're about to do to start this episode. So I have with me, I've listed and found 8 fun things. I was like, you know what? If it's me doing this, it needs to be apropos. It needs to be only correct. So I am ready to reveal the topic to you in case you need a moment to gather either writing utensil or just note taking for yourself on what you're keeping or cutting. I can also write it down here as well.
Okay, so keep Hulkenberg, cut Valtteri Bottas, cut Verstappen. Okay, yep, all right.
He's already practicing, ladies and gentlemen. But no, in this one, NFL related, Rick,
okay.
What I have is keep or cut for NFL one-hit wonders. Now, it could be a game, it could be a moment, it could be a season. I have 8 different one-hit wonders here where this was basically the peak / pinnacle of this person's career, and there's nothing else really to speak on it after that. So we've talked about one-hit wonders a number of times on this in podcast past, Rick.
We have.
So I've collected 8 one-hit wonders. Now, again, some of these are just individual season. Some of them are just one specific game. Again, I decided to have a little bit of fun with this. And I'm sure as I go, I think you'll realize how much fun I really had just collecting and reminding myself of some of these as well. So are you ready?
I swear, Jurg, if the name that I'm thinking of is in your keep or cut for the memes and the laughs, I might just drive up to Bristol and come talk to you. In the words of Jared Kiso.
The best part is, with my track record on the show, there's about 5 different potential names that you could be thinking of right now.
Oh no, there's one that I'm absolutely thinking of.
This is my turn to guess. Do you think I have Braylon Edwards on this list?
No. That wasn't one of them. Well, I don't necessarily know if he had a one-hit wonder season, but no, that wasn't what I was thinking of.
No. Tim Biakabatuka is not on this list.
God damn it. Okay, that's fair. No. Okay, well, he's a name. I also thought of a certain Pittsburgh quarterback from the ether from way back in our working companionship.
Not Big Ben. Oh wait, I know who you're thinking of. No, actually, I didn't even think of him.
Go ahead, say it.
Quack.
Yep.
Quack.
Mm-hmm.
Ducky Hodges. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, there's a little bit of lore for you. Back I don't even think this was my intern days. I think this was after I became the official coordinator to work with you.
I think this was what almost made me throw you out of the office, actually. Yes. Ducky Hodges. Devlin Hodges, of all people.
But no, he's not on this list, but I have 8 others. So are you ready?
Sure, yes, let's go.
All right. And for this, Rick, obviously, some are a season, some are a game. You make your choice in the moment if you want to base it off of performance, if you want to try to go based off of funniness, or Jesus Christ, yeah, this did happen. Whatever you want to try to guess a ranking on. Again, it's completely blind, so you're not going to know. So cool. Let's start off hot. Here. And I'm going to go in the order that I wrote this. So the first name, Rick, back when you were a Jets fan, I mean, he didn't do this against the Jets, but he did it for a division rival. Do you remember, Rick, Jonah Gray on
that was, yeah.
autumn night? In
Uh-huh.
November 2014,
Uh-huh.
201 rushing yards, 4 rushing touchdowns against the
Uh-huh.
Indianapolis Colts. He
Yep.
was benched like a week later because he missed a
Yeah.
team, I think.
Oh.
And I think he may have made it to the end of the season with the Patriots, but he was not a Patriot after that year.
I somehow when what's funny is that when you mentioned this category, that was the first name that I came to my mind was Jonas Gray. Jesus. What a name. What a name. Somehow he has the Patriots record for most rushing touchdowns in a game.
Right.
And we've never seen him since, basically. Jeez. Okay. So keep or cut. Knowing you've probably got 4 other good names on this list, so I'm going to cut Jonas Gray.
Okay, that's more than fair, honestly. That is more than fair. We will
Knowing
see.
you.
we will see what kind of fun there is to have, and the fun continues. But this is quote unquote sad. I don't know if you want to consider it sad. This is a guy that this should not have been a one-hit wonder. This should have been more on this. Rick, 2013 was this guy's, in theory, the first of several dominant seasons for him, but it was derailed for a number of reasons. Josh Gordon, 2013, 1,646 receiving yards, 9 touchdowns on the lowly Cleveland Browns. This is the kind of season that is like it feels like a folktale. This is the kind of season that a book would be made of, and you would think, oh yeah, this is something crazy. It wouldn't have happened, but no, legitimately, Josh Gordon, 2013, just absolutely went nuclear in the NFL. This season alone earned him an NFL record and 4 Cleveland Browns franchise records. It's absolutely insane what he did, which for it, ladies and gentlemen, he had back-to-back consecutive 200-plus receiving yard games in November, from November 2013 to December 2013. And he had the most receptions in a game for a Cleveland Brown, tied with Ozzie Newsome, most receiving yards in a season for a Browns player, most receiving yards per game, and most 100-plus yard receiving yards, or receiving yard games in a season for a Browns receiver, with 7. Beast. So, what do you think here, Rick? Keep or cut the almost like an anomaly of a season for NFL lore at this point?
Yeah, but you know what? You don't get to be kept if you're suspended 3 times the remainder of your career.
Mm.
Had that been his one and he had gone off into the sunset and that been the lore of Josh Gordon, if he had never played football again, this would be an absolute 100% keep, but can't do it. I can't do it. It's a great season. Don't get me wrong. It writes a lot of record books that will never be read because they're the Browns record books, obviously. So but I'm a bit of a stickler for clean playing, as evidenced by my top 5 Hall of Fame from our text chain that had Larry Fitzgerald number 1 for a good reason.
Indeed.
So yeah, I cut Josh Gordon. Move on.
That's fair. Yeah, and just one thing to note with Josh Gordon, he had a chance in 2018 to bring things back. He actually had a relatively, good stretch with the Patriots, but then he stepped away from the team towards the end of the season. I think he may have been suspended again at that point. So, just tough times for the guy to say the very least. Well, he's not the only Cleveland Brown here on this. We'll see if this gets your first keep or not, Rick. 2010, a running back rushed his way into the people's hearts, and he rushed his way onto a Madden cover as well. Peyton Hillis, rumbling, stumbling, and bumbling, 1,177 yards and 11 touchdowns in the 2010 season for the Cleveland Browns. Like I said, a shock Madden cover, which I think was the second, because I used to not really buy the games like every single year at that point because, not worth it. But he ended up getting a Madden cover of the, I think, second Madden game I owned at that point. It truly funny to look at the fact that, in his career, finished with 23 rushing touchdowns, so about half of them coming in this season alone. And I don't have the exact math in front of me, but maybe something along the lines of anywhere 42% of his career rushing yards came in this one season. So not really spread out. Definitely a one-hit wonder. That was the 2010 season for 3rd year in the league. was Peyton Hillis. So, Rick, where does he land on your keep for cut for?
I mean, you know me. I love a good fullback. Even though he was a running back with Cleveland, he was a fullback in college, basically, and then he was a fullback with Denver. It was just, oh, it was that was something special. And that run to the cover vote was excellent, excellent, and points too because he beat Michael Vick in the final voting, which is even better.
2010 was Vic's comeback season, like that full.
It was. God, I love me some Peyton Hillis, man. I will say this. I don't know if he is, but there's another running back that if he's on your list, it's an absolute keep as well. This is my first keep. Yeah, Peyton Hillis, absolutely.
Okay, there we go. So there's our first keep. So one kept, two cut. Let's move on. This guy, I consider him a one-hit wonder. He obviously still played after this performance. He still played after this game, but it's safe to say this was the highlight of his career. Rick, Super Bowl MVP, 2 interceptions on one of the most infamous routes in Super Bowl history, especially of the early 2000s. I believe Super Bowl 32, if I'm reading the Roman numeral correctly. Dexter Jackson. of a stacked defense, right?
Yeah.
Warren Sapp, was it the rest of the secondary on that team?
Yep.
Just completely to the brim. Rondé Barber, I think he was on that team, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, he was.
And it was Dexter Jackson of everyone, of all people, to come away with the Super Bowl MVP award with 2 interceptions. Do we keep or cut?
Well, if you remember, he then was a free agent after this game.
Yep.
Went to Arizona and, arguably speaking, had a much better season for the Cardinals. I think he had close to 90 combined tackles and 6 picks. So really, this is one of those cases where the Super Bowl MVP kind of helped him along in the process there. I mean, of course, everyone remembers that one game, and it's the lore of Super Bowl MVP is who? Like, it's Michael C. Hall, Dexter? What? No, not him? Oh, okay, never mind.
It goes to the guy in the last year. I imagine it was the last year of his rookie deal at that point, or last year he was in Tampa, like you mentioned. And just not the only secondary player to make bank after a multi-interception Super Bowl game.
No,
only one on this list. Only one on this list.
Well, there you go.
Dexter Jackson is the one that I end up selecting.
I love me some old school Tampa defenses. The fun nature of just that game and the John Gruden saga and everything else. Couldn't have asked for a better Super Bowl MVP. And again, followed up with an even better season the next year. Dexter Jackson's a keep for me.
There we go. All right, we're 2 for 2, ladies and gentlemen. 2 keeps, 2 cuts. Now this one. This one is the combination of a running gag, but also being specific. One of my favorite running gags, especially here early on in the series, early on in the show when we were making episodes, because the guy was actually still in the league at that point, was Sammy Watkins. Because as everyone knows, early season, but especially week 1, Sammy Watkins.
Yeah.
Baller. And no week was the complete epitome of that nickname. Rick, then week 1 of the beautiful 2019 NFL season, Sammy Watkins had 9 catches for 198 yards and 3 touchdowns.
He sure did.
Just absolutely looked like the best receiver in football. For one given night, Sammy Watkins did special things. That was for the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, ironically, he only had 3 touchdowns that entire season. So all his touchdowns came in that week 1. But it was an important week 1. So, week 1, 2019, Sammy Watkins. Rick, keep a cut.
Yeah, I'd be doing this show a disservice if I didn't say keep. I mean, it was one of our running gags to start everything off. It was that. It was the what was the Seahawks offensive lineman that Justin said should have been traded?
Unger, always
Max Unger. And then the running gag later was the Brad Johnson shout out for no particular reason, which then became the next week's name that player. And I mean, I told Justin this, like, you can't do a name that player the week after we name dropped the name that player. Come on now. There's one player that I think had a much better week one, and I think I've told you this story off air too. And it's the player that I didn't put in my starting lineup when I was in my first year of fantasy, even though I drafted him, and it was not a very good run for me, even though I did make the semis that year. But yeah. But listen, there's nothing like a good week one Sammy Watkins performance to then make you realize that there's 17 more weeks left in the season for this.
Exactly.
But okay, I mean, week one Sammy Watkins is an absolute keep. Weeks 2 through 18, I don't know, but based on the overall body of work, yeah, we'll keep Sammy.
We'll keep one-hit wonders, and especially that 2019 version of him. Top of the world.
We'll keep him around.
Top of the world. All right, 3 keeps, 2 cuts. Only 1 keep, Rick. This is going to be interesting to see which one of these that you end up keeping cutting. And obviously, if you end up keeping this next one, I'll just quickly say what the next 2 were.
Sure.
Rick, in a day and change, you can't really say 2 full days at this point. In a day and change, we will have New Year's Day.
Yes.
New Year's Day 2026.
Yes, we will.
And 14 years prior, on New Year's Day 2012, a guy had the performance of a lifetime. A 14-1 Packers team sat the soon-to-be MVP Aaron Rodgers, soon-to-be his first MVP award, if I'm not mistaken, against divisional rival Detroit Lions. Clinched the first seed in the NFC, home field advantage. Packers can afford to drop a game. They didn't drop that game, though. It was because of 480 passing yards, 6 touchdowns. Not Brett Favre, not Aaron Rodgers, not Toyotathon Jordan Love, but Matt Flynn, the game of a lifetime against the Detroit Lions on New Year's Day 2012. Earned him a contract with the Seattle Seahawks that never mattered because he was then usurped by a 3rd-round pick rookie quarterback. So I truly believe this is a one-hit wonder if there's ever been.
This is a stellar one-hit wonder for sure. Although, not really, because in the realm of one-hit wonders, I'm going to cut Matt Flynn because you're clearly not remembering what happened the second time he was with the Packers. That game against the Vikings when somber Scott Tolzien was not doing a good job, and it was 23-7, and they subbed in Matty Flynn, and he nearly had another dominant showing, another come from behind for the ages. Unfortunately, it ended in 26 all tie in overtime, but hey, he got them to overtime.
Right.
So, this one hurts because this one was one that I was thinking about, but remembering the Scott Tolzien saga, I'm comfortable saying cut Matt Flynn. I'm comfortable with that. Also, by the way, he was competing with Tavares Jackson in Seattle, which is an automatic cut because if you can't beat an Alabama State quarterback, you're done. So, yeah.
All right. Second to last name. It's 3-3 right now. We will see who he keeps or cuts. Rick, this guy, he was a solid defensive player. He had a decently long career. Played for the Raiders.
Okay.
Played for eventually the Steelers. And actually played for both teams in the final year and a half of his career. But there was one stop at a certain team for a couple of years that this guy played at. They made a deep run. They made it to a Super Bowl. And when things mattered the most, all the names on that team, the quarterback, the running back, the receiver, the other star defensive players, it was none other than Mike Jones, who made not a tackle, the tackle in the Super Bowl against the Tennessee Titans on Kevin Dyson to save the Super Bowl for the greatest show on turf Rams. so notable that in back when NFL Top 10 was a thing, which I wish that would come back, it earned a spot on the top 10 one-shot wonders list for that. So even some NFL ball knowers said that that's a top tier one-hit wonder. Is this the last keep on your one-hit wonder list?
Let me tell you something. Back then, I was rooting for the Titans so hard to win this game, man.
How the times have changed.
Well, again, I loved Steve. Rest in peace, the late great Steve McNair. I loved Eddie George. They were such a good team. That Music City Miracle was one of the best things I've ever seen. Then along comes little punk Kurt Warner and the stupid St. Louis Rams and Isaac Bruce and Azahir Hakeem and Marshall Faulk and all those guys, and it's bastard Mike Jones. Kevin Dyson was a yard short. Although, to be fair, it was also Jeff Fisher's fault, too. That's not here or there. This one stings because this made me remember that game, remember that night. This one cut all the way cut. I don't even care who the number 8 was. That's an ultimate cut. So
okay, then.
Who am I keeping? Who's the last one I'm keeping?
Ironically, another one and done for Cleveland Brown. There were 3 Cleveland Browns one and done seasons on this one, which really goes to show how randomly, if you took like the best season of every Cleveland Brown over the last like 25 years and you could put them all together, they might be like a wild card. Gary Barnidge is the last one on this who you're automatically keeping. 2015, 1,043 receiving yards, 9 touchdowns, made the only Pro Bowl of his NFL career.
Oh, is that the tight end?
Yep.
Oh, I liked him. Yeah. No. I really liked him. He was definitely one of those like random shining spots.
Yep.
On that team that year. I mean, yeah, you know what? I'm okay with that.
Made the Pro Bowl that season, only Pro Bowl of his career. Total 14 receiving touchdowns, caught 9 of them there. So, what a season it was for him.
I mean, listen, on the Browns, if you can catch 9 touchdown passes, they should put a statue of you outside of the stadium. So,
Of course, that Brown season famous for having the likes of Johnny Manziel, Austin Davis, and Pat Devlin in the quarterback.
You know what? To be fair, to be truthful to Gary Barnidge, I think Browns fans are doing a disservice not having more of his jersey on their back. You can't wear any jerseys of any of the current guys, maybe Harold Fannin, but I mean, you got to do a nice little throwback for Gary Barnidge here and there. I like it.
Yep.
I like it.
So there it is. So your 4 keeps, if memory serves, because I didn't write any of this down. You kept Peyton Hillis.
Yes.
Dexter Jackson.
Yes.
Week 1, Sammy Watkins.
Of course.
And the beautiful man himself, Gary Barnidge. So,
yes.
Congratulations.
So 3 offense and 1 defense on one side, 3 offense and 1 defense on the other side. So,
Yeah. I was trying to find more defensive guys for this, but like just not good enough record keeping, I think, in the annals of the NFL Google search when it comes to one and done.
It's tricky because, there are guys that I think have like standout moments.
Right.
But then, you look at the rest of their years and they have had some good follow-up years after that. I mean, there's a couple of guys that I think that I could throw your way potentially and kind of see what you would do. And either a later episode or if you want to do a spontaneous reverse one, you can. But
I don't think we have enough time in this one, but definitely later on down the line. And this is a fun one because, like, truthfully, any of us can take over and have fun with a keep 4, cut 4, or bring anything else to the list. This is not going to be the first new game we introduce, and definitely not the only iteration of this version. We're going to have fun with stuff like this going forward. Then we have a whole off season ahead of us. So
yes.
All right, that ends our trivia at home. Podfather. Of course, we have Week 18 to quickly run through. We're going to go through week after the games, say the notable stuff, and we have our main games. But should we not keep the people waiting, not not keep them in suspense. Is it time for? It's funny to this will technically be labeled as the pick challenge finale, and it sort of is, but not in the way it has been in previous years. So, Podfather, update the people on the standings and what the situation is coming into this week.
So, I mean, it's weird. And I'll tell you why it's weird. It's weird because I almost feel bad in a way for Justin because I don't think, well, listen, given the stretch of the last few weeks that he's had, for him to technically go out the way that he did last week, I don't think he'd be happy with that. He only won 2 games, and they were the 3-point and the 1-point. So technically, Justin's final tally is 130 points. It's a good total. It's a round total. But again, this is a guy who had 2 perfect weeks in a back-to-back in the last 2 weeks, and he goes out with a twofer.
Right.
I don't think he'd be crazy about that. I don't think he would be. But he ain't here, so forget it. It is what it is. So that happened. Jerg, you also went 2 for 4 last week, so not exactly your greatest performance either. But it was a 4 and the 2 that kind of helped you out. So that gets you 6 points.
The Lions and Steelers, man.
Yeah, I know. I'm telling you, if you had just hit on those 2 games, not only would we not have anything to worry about come Sunday night because Pittsburgh probably wouldn't be the game, you'd be at 118. You'd be within 12 points. You'd be within striking distance. We could discuss an 8-on-8 like we've been doing in the past. But.
And generally, this is a case of if ifs and buts were candies and nuts, the world would be a better place. But like the way that I generally look at it, like week 15 to week 17 for me, the 2-point Bengals game, the 3-point Lions game, and then these two. I was genuinely a coin toss or 2 away or a different selection from 3 perfect weeks in a row.
Well, don't forget about the week prior, where you only won your 3-pointer with Green Bay.
I don't want to think about that week 14. Okay. I'm just thinking week because the thing is week 13
or the week prior to that, where we went with your 3-pointer with New England.
Exactly. Like those were 2 tough weeks, but week 12 I went perfect. Week 15 to 17 I was so close to because if I had somehow ripped off 3 straight perfect weeks, right? Like I'm at 113 now.
Yeah.
Plus 3 from the week 15 miss is 116. Plus 4 from the week 16 miss, that's 120. And then plus 5, I'd be at 125. I'd be breathing down.
You'd be sitting pretty. You'd be sitting pretty, and then we'd have another Cody Rhodes again.
He would be nervous.
Adrenaline in his soul. He has blown this lead before. But alas and alack, unfortunately, you're at 113.
Yeah,
sadly. Now, I think theoretically we could still have a chance if we did the 8-on-8, but it would just be way too crazy. So
it would have to be because I actually looked up. I was able to find my notes from last year. So we didn't do if you got perfect on the AFC or the NFC side, that you would get a +1. We didn't allow that in the previous iterations because last year, the year before, I went perfect on one side, and I didn't calculate a +1.
Well, I don't think you needed it because I think you won going away.
Right. But it's just one of those things where it's I try to base everything off of precedent for what we do. We try to have honor on the show as much as we can. And
really honor?
Yes.
Us? Really?
Okay. Hey, the 4 virtues that we were taught as children from a luchador-based cartoon: honor, family, tradition, and donuts.
Is that Lucha?
Yes.
It's a way of life.
I love the fact that you had that pull. But yeah, so basically, what a generational week 18 this could have been. But instead of a generational 1-on-1, we're here for just fun at this point. So
absolutely. So that was so you finished at 113. Now here's the ironic twist of all of this. In our group chat before we made our picks, I did float the idea that I'm too far out of it. So can I just cheat and not pick an upset? And y'all were like, no, you got to pick the upset, honor, integrity, blah, 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 blah. Well, you know what? I was a perfect week last week because I picked 2 upsets. So
indeed you did.
Eat that. Boom. I end up with 98. I'm pretty happy with that. I mean, it's not 100, but it's good. I'll take it.
I believe best third place finish of anyone.
I would say so. Yeah, I'd say so.
I look back a couple of years ago to my third place finish. I think I finished with like 94.
Yeah, no, that's what you want. Yeah, I mean, my first year, I think doing this thing, I finished with 79 because I think I had 2 imperfect weeks, including the Dunkin' Donuts week.
Right.
God help us all. Brutal times. And then, so the best mascots, according to Justin, the kids, didn't get the Vegas pick at 4, but got everything else right. So they end up with 81 points.
That feels like the highest pick for a fourth entrant, or the highest point total. Is it?
Last year, the Gopher and I went wire to wire, 1 point at the end.
Oh wow!
So yeah, so that almost killed the entire show because you would have replaced me with somebody. Yeah, but so the kids can't catch up, which is fine. So they're out. I could in theory catch you if I did the 8-8, but I'm not going to. And again, 17 points. So nuclear option time. You know,
which what it is, ladies and gentlemen, is essentially, and this is strictly for either of us against Justin.
Correct.
If either of us get a 16 of 16 performance.
Yep.
How do we want to treat this? Do we want to say that we just overrule and defeat him? Or
yes, okay. That's fine. What I would say is that if either of us goes 16 for 16, we get to 131 points, which for you would be an 18-point week.
Which is honestly relatively fair.
The math doesn't make any sense. And for me, the math doesn't make any sense. For me, it would be a 33-point week.
Yeah, which actually, for you, that's 3 perfect weeks in a row. You could kind of justify it.
Actually, I was going to say, it's 2 points per game and then the +1.
There you go.
So that works out pretty nicely there.
Which for me, you could actually just argue it's everything, and I just get +2 because in theory there's like 2 perfect weeks in there somewhere.
Oh yeah, I'd agree with that. So yeah, I mean, now here's the other funny little kicker to go through with honor and integrity here. So I use a certain website that I track all my picks with. So for all this, I did like screenshots of everything. Mm-hmm. In my screenshots, I have 2 games missing. Oh,
really?
So yeah, so I'm just picking off of what I think is going to happen in those 2 games.
Okay, more than fair.
Yeah, and to be transparent, those games are Carolina, Tampa Bay, and Jacksonville, Tennessee.
Well, I don't think you had high expectations of any of those teams coming into the season, so that's probably why you don't have it.
Did I not? No, I didn't. Actually, you're absolutely right about that. I had Atlanta being the number 1 seed, which what was I thinking there? And then the Houston could still win the division, so there is that. But I don't think I had Jacksonville or Indy being as good as they were. Listen, pat on the back for Phil Rivers, honestly. Indy did very well this year, so no bones about it there.
All right, well, with that being said, Rick, I think simple way. So we're going to go through all 16 games. We're going to alternate this back and forth. So it's like a perfect way to start this off, Tampa and Carolina. I'll make my selection with that first. Then you go. Then the next game you go. I go, and we'll just go chronological order for how we see fit. No need for a minimum. I guess maybe we could try to pick 2-3 upsets if we so please, but it's not. There's no requirement on this one.
No. That's the other part of the no integrity. No upset requirement here.
Now again, ladies and gentlemen, as this is the both of us. This is strictly going after Justin. Like you said, this is. There's no, if we get 15 out of 16, there's strictly if neither of us get perfect, the standings stay as is.
Yes.
Yeah. So
yes.
Understand. All right. That being said, I think we should begin this now. Rick, this is taking me back to my roots on the Somewhat Sports podcast because for a good couple of seasons, we would pick every single game every single week, and the winner at the end of it would whoever got the most weeks, and then if we had to come down to a tiebreaker, it was who picked the most games right each and every single week. I won the first ever season we did of the Somewhat Sports weekly.
Good for you.
And I want to say from recollection, maybe the best week I ever had was a 14-2 or a 13-3, one or the other. So I've had good luck with full selections before. So I'm going to need to channel that as much as I can here.
Yeah. In my community pool this year, this past week was my best week. I was 11-5. But that also went against the spread too. So, I think a few years ago I was 13-3 1 week. Still lost to somebody though. I can't remember who, but ridiculous.
When you put everything you got, and it happens.
Terrible. This forehead's not shiny enough for this business, anyways.
All right, let's do this. Let's have some
Go
fun.
for it.
Okay. I want utter chaos in this situation. So give me Tampa over Carolina with the Week 18 pick.
I think that's a fair selection there. It's really truly against my better judgment to do this, but I'm gonna go Carolina.
That's fair.
I'm gonna go Carolina.
Am I betraying the Carolina truther thing if I?
Oh, well, if you're doing that, I'm betraying the I hate Bryce Young stance, But I firmly believe more in Rico Dowdle than anything else. He's had a renaissance season, and what way to punch it in than by running in the winning touchdown to not only win the division title, but also get yourself that extra money because he's a free agent. So why not? Give me Carolina there.
Oh, Baker's questionable? I had no idea.
Oh, boy. Who knows?
Can I change my pick?
Do you want to? You're going to lock it in.
Part of me kind of wants to, because it's like part of this is just the idea that like I was baking off the fact like, okay, Baker's going to put in one last performance. Well, I guess last week, was he banged up going into last week's game?
He might have been.
He still put up 346 yards and 2 tutties and 2 interceptions.
Yeah, but still. I mean, it's up to you. You locking in Tampa, or you going Carolina?
I'll stick with my guns.
Heads Carolina, tails Tampa.
I'll stick with it. I'll stick with Tampa over Carolina.
Okay, that's the first Saturday game for the NFC South crown, and then we have
we'll get more in depth in that specific game here.
And then we have the Seattle-San Francisco game also. I guess now it is the number 1 seed game, right? Or could Chicago somehow still get a number 1 seed? I don't think they can.
No, correct, because the Bears can only get up to a maximum of 12 and 5, which a loss for Seattle bumps them to 13 and 4, which I mean ironically would make them the 5th seed because But yeah, San Fran winning would put them at 13 and 4. So either way, the NFC West team, at minimum one NFC West team will have more wins than the Bears after that game.
Yeah. This is such a hard game to pick, man. This is a brutal one. This is what separates the men from the boys right here. If we can survive this going 2-0, one of us going 2-0, I think we got a real shot at running the table on Sunday up until I really do. Yes. But these two games are the big minefields there. I'm going Seattle. I like this matchup a lot more because I think you saw with the Chicago game, and we'll talk about this a little bit, with the Chicago game, how Luther Burden kind of sliced and diced his way through that San Francisco defense.
Mm-hmm.
Jay has said he could get 300 yards here.
Yep.
So give me Seattle over San Francisco.
Honestly, I'm with you there. I was high on Seattle a couple of years ago, and they failed. But even coming into this season, I definitely saw something there. I didn't think it would come together as quickly as it did. And you got to think about it. Like, this is ultimate poetry because these teams faced off in week 1. Two vastly different teams. And one of the ways that makes them vastly different is the fact that this San Francisco team that won that week 1 game, by the way, 17-13.
Yeah.
They don't have that, like, the defense has put on some good performances recently, but they just don't have, like, the same guys. They've had to win a lot of high-scoring affairs here recently. That 42-38 game against the Bears being, like, I would argue the best game of the season.
No argument here.
This is the kind of game, like you said, this differentiates the men versus the boys, and what a game it's going to be. I think the Seattle offense, if they can just let loose Kenneth Walker a little bit more, and they let the passing attack do its thing, I think they're going to show why they're a different team now compared to what they were in week 1. So I'm right there with you. I think Seattle's going to take the win here. So our Saturday differentiator is going to be that Tampa Carolina game.
Yeah, one of us. Well, again, one of us could go 2-0. We could both go to 0-2.
Yeah, that's the funny way.
Yeah. So, all right, let's get into the Sunday games. Let's start with the other game of the NFC South.
Yes, Saints and Falcons, and I'm still sort of being a Panthers truther here to an extent. Like, shout out to Tyler Shuck for injecting a little bit of life into things late. Like, when he came in for Spencer Rattler, it's like, oh really? But he's been all right. He's had a couple decent games, back-to-back 300-plus yard passing games.
Yep.
He's cooking. and it could very much continue in this case. Tyler Shuck could play a role in deciding who wins the NFC South this year. Just not the way you would have expected it coming into the season.
How about that?
How about that, indeed?
How about that, indeed?
And you know what? How about that? How about that, ladies and gentlemen? How about that? Who that? Who that? Who they say gonna beat them Saints? Not the Falcons. They have spurned me so many times, and I'm very petty about the fact that they got an upset win. So give me the Saints over the Falcons in this one.
Yeah, I mean, it's so ironic to me when you think about it that we were projecting this year for the Saints to be the worst team in the NFL.
Yeah.
And
6 wins later, they're not.
I think they found their answer at quarterback, man.
They might just have.
I think he stumbled his way into it, but Tyler Shucks looked really good.
Yeah,
and I think that's something to be said. I think when if they had just started Tyler Shuck earlier in the season, maybe this would be a team that would be a surprise contender for the conference 4 seed. To get waxed in the playoffs, but still make it there. I'm with you. I like the Saints in this one. I think the Falcons used up all their mojo to beat the Rams. I think this is a come-down game. It's more for pride than anything else. And again, when you go into the fact that the Saints lost Derek Carr this year to a retirement after the draft, and everything was kind of, all up in the air, you got to give Kellen Moore some coach of the year cred. Even like a 5th or 6th place voters, whatever it is, but if he wins, they go 7-10. Even 6-11, but 7-10 for this staff, for this head coach in his first season with what he had to work with. Masterful job. Bravo to you, Kellen Moore. Yeah, and give me the Saints. Let it be 7-10.
Do they build up that team a little bit in New Orleans? We'll get to the eliminated playoff teams here in a little bit. I think it's going to be interesting to see where we rank them here, Rick.
I agree.
In our tier list here later on.
I agree.
All right. Next game, you pick first here, Podfather. Browns versus Bengals. Joe Flacco, who started the season against the Bengals for the Browns, will end the season for the Bengals against the Browns.
Oh, it's clear that Burrow's not starting this game?
Everything I've seen is saying, I haven't seen anyone indicate that Burrow is that he's going to be playing. I mean, he still could, realistically. He's listed as active, but everyone...
It doesn't matter.
But
it doesn't matter. Cincinnati all the way.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Because you know what? This is not just a Joe and Joe game. It's a Jamar game. It's a T game. This is what last year's Week 18 was in this as well. A one last chance to showcase the offense in Cincinnati.
Yep.
And again, it just goes to show you what happens when you have a healthy Burrow. This Bengals team is good.
Yeah,
but he's got to stay healthy. That's the problem. But I don't think Cleveland stands a chance here. Give me Cincinnati. I will say, I do think it would be actually okay if Flacco were starting this game because I feel like Myles Garrett is going to break the sack record.
Right.
And I don't want it to be a case where Burrow gets hurt again, taking a sack from that man. But just one piece of advice, Flacco: don't fall like Brett Favre did. Please. Let it be a real sack. Please. That's all I'm saying. Cincinnati for me.
True. All right, next game, the Green Bay Packers against the Minnesota. And don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go pretty quick on some.
Did you pick Cincy too in this one?
Yeah. I feel like you said it.
Okay. All right. Okay, that's right.
Yeah, I'm with you, Cincy.
That's right.
And I was also about to, I would have said it if you hadn't said it. I think we all know Myles Garrett's probably breaking the sack.
Absolutely is.
Minnesota versus Green Bay. The game is in Minnesota. Green Bay is going to them. Look, they clinched a playoff spot. The most important thing that matters is honestly them just having any kind of health whatsoever. If they can try to get any kind of health here in the last couple weeks of the season. TBD, when Malik Willis is leading your team in rushing in a game against the Baltimore, not great. The business decisions being made, and a business decision also needs to be made in the fact that Minnesota needs to try to find a way to get Justin Jefferson more passing yards. But I ain't JJ McCarthy. It's Max Prosper doing it. So even though Green Bay is going to want to sit people, it's not. I don't think Minnesota's going to get 5 to 6 turnovers happening again. So I'll go Packers over the Vikings in this one.
Can I pick this one as a tie? No, I'm not going to do that. I'd love to, though, but I'm not going to do that.
You know what? If there was a game,
if there was, right, this would be the game to do it. Yeah, but you know what? To me, like the Packers don't have nothing to play for. This seems like a classic Matt LaFleur, just looking ahead to next week when you have to go to the 2 seed, whoever it is, sort of thing. I can see them dropping this game. You know, as long as they just get everybody right, you know, I think you know they'll go in the next week. Will fine. This is a chance for Minnesota to kind of finish the year on a high, to somehow go 9-8.
who was
How?
Yeah.
Yeah, give me the Vikings to win this one. Actually, we'll diverge over there on the roads.
Yeah.
Give me the Vikings,
especially because truthfully, I think the next 3 games were probably going to be lockstep.
Well, let's see. The next game that I have on my list is Colts at Texans.
Okay.
The final chapter of the Phillip Rivers comeback, should he have come back at all, saga.
Well, they'll have to sub him in because I think I saw that Riley Leonard's getting the start.
Oh boy. I think Rivers gets one or 2 plays. You know, I mean, look, it's not. It's weird. Like, you want to say that like last week was his last home game, but is Indy really his home? Not really, right? It's kind of like I think this would be more like his final home game because Houston's not far from the school in Alabama that he coaches, so it makes sense for him to go right there.
I find it funny visually. Like I really hope that he signs another 1-day contract again with the Chargers to retire with them.
No, not one of the LA Chargers. No, thank you. Because you know what's going to happen. He's going to sign a 1-day contract with the Chargers. Justin Herbert's going to be like, wait a minute, what? So you're replacing me with Phillip Rivers? Come on now. Too much to play for Houston, and this one to take it lightly. Can I see the Colts putting a little scare into them? Absolutely, but too much to play for Houston to take this lightly. Give me the Texans. Will they cover the 10.5? I don't know, but they'll win comfortably.
We don't care about that.
They'll win comfortably. Well, my other pool is about covering as well, so I don't necessarily know if they'll cover or not. But
that Texans defense has been swarming.
Listen, that pool is a $90 buy-in at the beginning of the season. I won $140 last week. I'm good. I'm at 50. I'm good.
Nice.
Another date night for me and the pod wife.
There you go. Just a exclamation point on it. Poor Colts, 6 straight losses after an 8-2 start. Meanwhile, the Texans have won 8 in a row since their 3-5 beginning.
Sidebar question for you: do you think Steichen loses his job now?
I don't think so. I think
so either.
I think there's going to be a massive amount of understanding, and I also think I think this is once again another detriment to Chris Ballard, to where you look at a bunch of teams this season went down to their second and third string quarterbacks, and they were able to find success.
Yeah,
and they were able to stay afloat. I genuinely believe, I might as well just say it now. I think Daniel Jones leaves Indy. I think they're going to be very trigger shy on him because of the injury. I think he's going to get a 2-3 might be a stretch. I think he's going to get a 2 to 3 year deal with Minnesota to be the veteran quarterback to challenge JJ in the offseason. And I think Indy is going to trade for Mac Jones.
Okay. Interesting.
That's what I think is going to happen.
I can see that happening. Yeah, I like that.
Because I think it's going to be a combination of Chris Ballard needs to get another quarterback in. He's not going to want to pay Daniel Jones, especially because Daniel Jones is going to miss most of next season due to the injury as well, which is why I think Minnesota makes more sense that he can just go there and rehabilitate while JJ gets the start. And if JJ's struggling, boom, he can come in. And he already knows the KOC playbook. He was there for about a half season. And
don't worry about that. I do have another theory, though, actually. Anthony Richardson's gone after this year.
Oh yeah,
because I think the Colts keep Rivers on as a quarterback consultant, and if he comes out this year, they draft Ty Simpson out of Alabama.
Interesting.
Yeah, because I mean the pieces around them are pretty good. I mean Jonathan Taylor's having a great year, of course. Pittman and Alec Pierce has become a rock star since Rivers took over. Yeah, let's call it one of this year. He's tremendous.
Yeah. If you're Indy, you almost have to reconsider the Michael Pittman contract at this point. No, like he.
I know. I mean, I think Indy's built on 1-2s, like with the Reggie Wayne and the Marvin Harrison and the T.Y. Hilton. Pierce and Pittman are the new 1-2.
Hmm.
So I would keep them on, but I would try and keep Rivers on there as a quarterback whisperer. Bring in a new rookie, have him and Riley go at it. Maybe you sign a low term veteran. Maybe you bring in Jameis or Russell Wilson for a little bit to try and also help out. But do that. But I like your theory too about Mac Jones.
Yeah, I think it's going to be the case. All right. Next game that I have for myself in terms of the schedule list is the Cowboys-Giants game. Not sure if that's the one it has for you.
It's there. Yep. We're good.
Look, I feel bad for the Giants. It would be nice if they got a win here to end the season. I think Jackson Dart will play fine. I think he's going to have momentum going into next year, especially if the Giants players can come in healthy. Even though there's a motivational question for Dallas, I think that, in a rough year, just get one more good performance under your belt to end the season. I think Schottenheimer's job is pretty safe, all things considered. So I'm going to go with the Cowboys over the Giants here. If Cam Scatterbo and Malik Neighbors were in this game, I would actually pick the Giants for a nice little cheeky upset. But Jackson Dart has nothing to work for.
If Scatterbo and Neighbors were in this game, they wouldn't be 3-13. Let's just call it what it is here.
True.
See, I'm kind of torn in a way because I do agree with you on one hand, but I'm all about chaos as well in this regard. The Giants won their way out of the number 1 overall pick last week, and I think this will put the final nail in the coffin. But in a way, I think Giants fans will be happy going out on a 2-game winning streak and beating the Cowboys to have them not have a winning season, because that Jerry Jones will basically dog walk Schottenheimer to the plate and say you're fired after one season. Especially if they go 7-9-1. And again, I think part of the problem too is, Wan'Dale Robinson, Bellinger, and Theo Johnson, if they're playing, are going to have a wide open day because Trevon Diggs is now no longer on the team, which is a dumb decision by the Cowboys. And 2, you risk losing Prescott to another injury if he gets sacked, because if he wants to play this game, he wants for pride. And okay, so if he does play and he gets hurt and he has to miss time next year, you've basically set yourself back years, right?
I mean, Jerry Jones is used to setting himself back years, is he not?
On the other hand,
contract, traded Michael Parsons, all the dealings with these receivers and running backs.
And on the other hand, though,
all due respect, Deron Bland might end up being next year's Trevon Diggs. He's been hurt every year since he's gotten his extension.
Yep. And on the other, year, but, it is. And on the other hand, though, if for whatever reason the Cowboys wise up and they said, you know what, Dak, you're sitting this game out, we're starting Joe Milton. I'm not exactly confident that he's going to be able to lead them to a win, especially when the game is in MetLife in the freezing cold in January of New Jersey.
Yeah, Joe Milton might surprise you. He's a good backup quarterback.
He can throw about 75 yards, but when it's cutting cold like that, I don't know how far it can go or where it'll go. So, but we'll diverge again. I take the Giants in this one.
That's fair. Because I think Titans Jaguars is an obvious one.
I was gonna say, let's get back on the same pathway here. Just quickly, Jaguars. Yeah, Jaguars, of course. Yep. No reason.
I hope Cam Ward puts up a respectable game, but it's
please.
All right.
Jacksonville's got a shot at the 1 seed too. A very small shot.
Yes, it's very minuscule.
They need Easton Stick to have a great game.
Yeah, here's the thing: if the Jags win and both the Patriots and the Broncos lose, the Jags would have a better divisional and in-conference record than both of them. The AFC could run through
Duval.
I want it to happen now just for the fun.
I kind of do too, but I mean...
Which will per our predictions here, we'll see if it does. Let's continue. Yeah. Bills, Jets here. I like how we both simultaneously saw Josh Allen underwent some X-rays apparently, which I would assume I would assume they're going to see if he needs LASIK, because how do you not make that pass?
Oh boy! Oh dear.
That being said, like Mitch Trubisky is a relatively respectable backup quarterback.
Yes.
you could throw up the backup, and I think you're still going to be fine here.
Yes.
It'll just be like a 3-point a 3-point win, not like a 10-point win. Bills over the Jets. Like this Jets team is just depressing.
And that's my thing is that how long? I mean, I don't think you're going to see a lot of James Cook. I think you're going to see more of Ray Davis and Ty Johnson in this game.
I think the thing is, I think the Bills are going to try to learn from seasons past and what other teams have done. Like, I think the starters will get a quarter and a half in, and they'll try to maximize the damage they can do and then set from there.
So, correct me if I'm wrong here, but what's at stake? They need to win, and if Houston and LA lose, to get the 5.
Correct.
If they lose, regardless of what happens, they're the 7, because right now they're the 7th seed.
Correct.
But if they win and either Houston or LA lose, they'll go to the 6. Right?
Yes. Yeah, because right now the Texans have a tiebreaker of both teams because they've beaten them both, and the Chargers have a tiebreaker over the Bills based off of, it says, best win percentage in common games.
Games. Okay. Yes.
The Chargers, I don't know. They did not face the Jets this year, so this would not have a like if both win, the Chargers would still keep that head-to-head. So the Bills can still play for a matchup, a 5th or 6th seed. You are correct.
Well, wouldn't that be something if we're talking about Josh Allen and the Bills going to Lamar Jackson and the Ravens as a 4-5 matchup, or Aaron Rodgers and the Pacifics as a 4-5 matchup, depending on how that game goes. But you know what? Why not? Why not sow some discord into this nonsense here?
Yes.
Yeah, let's do it. Give me the Jets.
Nice.
Let this be the one game that Brady Cook actually goes like 400 yards just randomly. John Mechie catches a couple touchdown passes for some reason. Wong Nu has a kickoff return for a touchdown, and this is going to raise the flag on McDermott. If they back into the postseason, and then do the 7th seed, and you got to go to Denver or New England, maybe Jacksonville, I guess. Whew.
Tough times.
Ooh. Give me the Jets. I'll take the Jets in this one, though, for sure.
Right, you get the first dibs on. I have Lions Bears in front of me.
Yeah, let's go Lions Bears in this one. Bears have nothing really to play for aside from maybe getting an extra home game in the postseason.
Basically,
because
this
is 2-3,
yes.
Right? Yeah, this is 2-3.
A win would clinch the 2nd seed for them,
which honestly is a great season.
A top 3. The fact that they're a top 3 seed in the NFC this year is wild.
Yeah. I can't imagine we see Caleb Williams that much though in this game.
Right.
He
has a chance to make Bears history. He could both become the single season leader, and he also has the chance he could become the first Chicago Bear in team history to throw for 4,000 passing yards in a season.
Well,
yes, that sentence is correct.
How many does he need?
Stand by. Let me get the numbers for at least on the 4,000. I don't remember off the top of my head what the single season franchise record is.
I mean, wouldn't it be funny if he went to 39.99 and they took him out?
Oh, absolutely. So Caleb Williams is at 3,730 passing yards. So he would need
270,
a solid 270 to get this 4K. See, here's the tough part. The Lions can play spoiler here. They could bump him to the 3rd seed. This is a pissed-off Lions team. Dan Campbell doesn't let his guys sit. I don't see any of Detroit's main starters sitting this game.
No. That's why I'm going Lions on this one. I think as the embarrassment of Detroit, you want to kind of end on a high and bully a team in your division, even if they're going to be going to the postseason. And again, for the Lions, I'll put it like this. If the Vikings beat the Packers and get to 9-8, and the Lions, with all that hype, don't beat the Bears and they fall to 8-9, they finish in solo last in their division, heads are going to roll in Detroit.
Yeah.
For all the hype you have an 8-9 season where there's been, to my knowledge, no real major injuries on that team, right?
Yeah, like
Like if they were 8-9 last year when Hutchinson went down, I would give you a pass.
right.
But 8-9 this year when there's been no real injuries, and the offense has not used Gibbs and Montgomery to their fullest advantage.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know,
If it like I truly, whether they go 8-9 or 9-8, I don't see how the current offensive coordinator keeps that job next year.
is that Jim Bob?
Let
I
me
think
confirm.
it's Jim Bob Cooter. I think it is. I could be wrong. Well, I mean, again, look at how good the Detroit coordinators are, or Detroit coaching staff are at other spots. I mean, Ben Johnson is the exception, but Aaron Glenn's been a disaster. Tanner Anderson has been awful.
I'm saying it's John Morton.
Oh, it's John Morton?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, Jim Bob's somewhere else. Oh, yeah, John Morton's got to go. John Morton's terrible.
He was
Oh, my God.
He was the pass game coordinator for 2 seasons in Denver in 2023 and 2024. It's
Wasn't he with the Jets at one point too?
I have his history right in front of me. So he was the Jets offensive coordinator in 2017.
Good. Oh.
Stand by while I get 2017 Jets season here.
Oh boy. I feel like that was after the 10-6 season. That was a Bowls year. They were not good that year.
Todd Bowles' year, they went 5-11.
Yep.
Where are the individual stats?
Wasn't that an Itzik year?
It may have been. Josh McCown started 13 games for the Jets that year. 18 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. Honestly, better than I thought. And then Bryce Petty started 3 games.
I think it's sacked like 12 times one of those games. Anyways, Lions win this one over the Bears.
Yes,
sorry, Chicago.
Apologies, Chicago, but everything would point in favor of you guys resting, which makes sense.
Exactly.
I'm going with a cheeky up. I think this would be a cheeky upset. I'm going Chargers over Broncos here. I think the Chargers still have plenty to play for. This Chargers team, the work, very underrated with all the injuries they've had to deal with, especially on the offensive line, and with what Justin Herbert has had to do this season for this team to carry them. You could argue he's had to backpack more than almost any other quarterback this season, genuinely. Like, I think they can pull out an upset win here. Denver is nowhere near unbeatable. Nowhere near unbeatable.
Yeah, but Herbert's not starting this game. He's not even playing.
Is he?
No.
Or is he not?
Fractured left hand. He's out this game.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, the line is 12.5.
Okay, never mind. I'm going Broncos over Chargers.
There you go. I was going to say thank you.
I was under the impression that Herbert was playing.
No,
why does ESPN still list him as available? It should list him as out.
It's an Easton Stick game for sure. It's going to be an Easton Stick game. The Chargers have nothing to play for.
I despise this company's website and what they do. Like,
here's the thing. Depending on how this shakes out, this could also be a rematch next week.
Very true.
So there's nothing to say that we won't see this 2 weeks in a row.
Well, no. If the Broncos win, then they're the automatic first seed no matter what. So
yeah, that's true. All right. Well,
this could be a divisional round rematch potentially.
It could be. There's no reason I'm talking about this. Denver's going to win. If Herbert's not starting, it doesn't matter. I don't think he is.
Funny, I was under the impression because certain companies can't update their stupid websites.
This is going to be the Kamani Vidal game for the Chargers, and no one wants that.
Ain't that the truth?
Yep. Ain't that the truth? Let me stick in that same division here. I'm going to give you a little bit of a shocker here.
I was going to say this is a game. This is a game, man.
Look, I mean, there's pride on the line on both sides, and I'm looking at this Raiders team that got absolutely embarrassed by the Giants last week. I think they're going to win one for the old man. I don't think Pete Carroll's going to stick around, but I can see guys playing for future contracts and playing for starting spots, especially if the rumors are true that Crosby's going to be gone too at some point. I'll take the Raiders. I'll take the Raiders laying the 5.5 here over the Chiefs. I think this is a chance for Kenny Pickett to audition and be really good. Obviously, I think this is. You saw how good Michael Mayer was last week. Against a soft Chiefs defense, I think he can do better. And I don't think Chris Oladokun is any good.
Yeah,
I really don't. So I'll take the Raiders. Again, I think with everything else that's going on, it won't kill their draft stock. They'll still get the number one pick, but Kenny Pickett might play himself into another contract. You never know.
I'm with you. This stretch of the week schedule is going to end up being like I feel like we're going to agree more often than not.
Yeah.
But even aside from the quarterbacks and stuff that you're mentioning, this is a Ashton Genty. He has 2 games of over 120 rushing yards this season. If he gets one more, he'll break 1,000 rushing yards this season. And honestly, in what has been a very inconsistent offensive rookie of the year race from the entirety of the offensive rookie class,
My husband.
if Ashton Genty puts up like $150 and 2 tutties, he might steal with recency bias the offensive rookie of the year award.
Oh yeah, it's very possible.
So I'm going Raiders over Chiefs, and I'm having I think Ashton Genty is going to have a baller of a game.
Agreed.
So there's that. Next game on the docket, in my view of things, which with this website, Rams and the Cardinals. I have not seen any news if Stafford and co are going to sit. It wouldn't surprise me because they can no longer win the division. They can no longer become the first seed. They can only maintain the status quo of being the 6th seed. They can't even drop to the 7th seed.
Well, they also can't get to the 5, right?
Correct, because both San Fran. Well, if San Fran, let me check the schedules of San Francisco and LA real quick. Did they split this year? Did San Fran? Oh, San Fran beat LA the first time, then LA beat them the second time.
Well, there's one way to settle this. Go to the ESPN playoff machine.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure that'll help.
Well, yeah, that's where I'm going right now. Let me see. If the Rams win,
and
if the Niners lose, they can flip.
Okay.
They can flip. So, but again, all that really is on the line there is you're either going to Carolina or Tampa, or you're going to Philadelphia or Chicago.
Right. You're going to be a road team no matter what.
You're going east no matter what. So
that's a tough one.
Like I said, I don't know how much Stafford plays in this one. I don't know how much Kyron Williams plays. They need to figure out what's wrong with Blake Corum because I know he's a little bit banged up.
I will say though, you can make the argument that the Rams, maybe not for the entire game, but they need to get a good 2.5 quarters out of the starters. I feel they played awful against the Falcons. Yeah. Completely choked that game away. Yeah. And let's call a spade. I'm not saying this to take away from the win from the Seahawks, but the Rams could have and should have probably won that game realistically.
Absolutely.
Like, this is a team that needs to get its act together. Remember early in the season, they had a couple of performances where it's like, what the hell? This is kind of uncharacteristic.
Yeah.
Like they need to avoid that. I think the starters could end up playing, even though there's only a flip of a seed on the line. I think for them mentally, I think there's a lot more than we think there could be riding on this one.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Also, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, we're essentially going over everything that can happen now, so we're only going to in-depth look at the 3 other games. After this,
so in this one, see, here's my thing.
Yeah, I don't know where I want to go with this.
I know where I'm going to go with it.
Rams play their guys for 3 quarters. They're going to beat the Cardinals.
Yeah, but you know what? I have a new loyalty that we've talked about here.
That is
in our group chat. I have a new loyalty here. Part of the reason why I've won one fantasy league championship and are closing in on a second one is that there's one guy that I've started every single week minus his bye week because I'm not starting a guy who's on bye. It's stupid.
Naturally.
And that's Trey McBride. So I'm loyal to my MVP. As I said, if I win the fantasy league championship with him again, I will immediately get his jersey, probably the black one. I really want the heritage one, the mineral one with the Arizona logo there, but it's like $300. So I get the black one instead. Brissett has looked good for everything that he is.
Right.
And again, I think this is Jonathan Gannon's job is somewhat safe, I think, but
yeah, there was no expectations going in. I will say because this was technically my game to start with, I think.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I'm going to go with the Rams just because I think even backup-wise, like you mentioned Blake Corum, he ran over this Cardinals defense last time.
Yep.
So if there's a get-right game for him, it would be this one. Jimmy Garoppolo is listed as the backup from what I'm seeing on the ESPN depth chart. Like, for all
what
we
a
think
fall from grace.
Sure, right? For all we think of him, he can do enough to just win you a game to get some offense, the momentum.
Yeah.
Like, if they had played a closer game earlier in the season, I would consider it. They whooped them 45-17.
I know.
I
know, but I gotta be loyal to my guy. So if this is the game that cost me the championship, so be it. I'm going Arizona here.
I'm going to be shocked if either of us are walking into this game and still have a perfect record in that.
All right, that would be hilarious. Well, I mean, then it would come down to one of these next two games, which would be Washington and Philadelphia. I'm going Commanders.
Okay.
Look, there is something very wrong with this Philadelphia team. There really is. We said it last year too, and the year before that. There is something very wrong with this Philadelphia team. They're 11-5, but can you tell me that you're confident in them going into the playoffs at all?
No, not at all. I think they could be a one and done.
They probably will be a one and done. I understand that last week against Buffalo, it was a monsoon. It was a tough defense in Buffalo, but you barely held on. Again, the difference between 11-5 and 10-6 was one errant Josh Allen pass because he was thinking about what to name his baby with Haley Steinfeld instead of passing the football properly.
Accurate.
I think this game was also going to serve for a retirement ceremony at the end for Josh Johnson. Have him finally retire after spending 18 years in the league and playing with all 32 teams. It feels like it, right? Give me Washington. There's more to prove there. I'll take the Commanders over the Eagles.
If I think the same should happen when Jameis Winston retires. Even if he didn't play for you, I think every team in the league should send a personalized jersey to Josh Johnson.
Agreed.
With his name.
Agreed.
That being said, I still think the Eagles' defense is enough to where they can win the game for them by themselves in this case. So I'll go with the Eagles on this one. Their defense alone could probably win them this game like 17-3.
Yep, that's fair. That's fair.
But I see the logic for you, and honestly, depending on the matchup, when we get to our playoff predictions next week, it's going to take a lot to convince me that this is going to be more than a one-and-done team.
Agreed.
So, all right. Last of the 4 o'clock games here, Podfather. Dolphins, Patriots. If this game was in Miami, ooh, buddy, this would be even more interesting to select. But,
okay.
And also, if Tua was starting this game.
Oh, boy. I've got some thoughts on that.
Who knew that the Dolphins found their franchise quarterback, but it was just in the 7th round in 2025 and not in the 1st round however many years ago?
Well, I mean, wasn't that the same case for the Niners, if you think about it?
Yeah, but to be fair, that was the same draft class. So,
True. Very true. Well, I also, yeah, that's very true. Okay.
Who is old buddy that, it was Skylar Thompson who they picked from that same draft class?
Skylar Thompson. Yes. Isn't he like 3rd string in Pittsburgh now? Never going to see the field ever again.
That sounds about right.
Yep.
I think the Patriots handle business here.
Yeah. The only thing that I'm going to say is that, boy, does this offense look good with Quinn Ewers. Looks a lot better. And also, isn't it just the Miami way of just pissing in the cereal of the Patriots every time they get the chance to? I don't know. I feel like this could be a Devon Achane game where he just runs crazy.
Good.
Why not?
My one thing is, truthfully, if you're a Dolphins fan, you want to lose this game because
You do.
knowing ownership, these idiots will keep Mike McDaniel after this season if they somehow win this game.
Which they're going to do, I think. You're Miami. I can see it. You're Miami.
I could see it, and if you're a Dolphins fan, like, you need the Patriots to win this game like 50-0.
If you're a Dolphins fan, the last thing you want to see is your team winning this game and the people to the north of you, Jacksonville, somehow getting the number 1 seed. Which, could very well happen.
Yep.
Oh boy! All right, let's get to the fun one.
Yes.
I think we should leave this one as like the end of the pick challenge, but also the start of the deeper analysis.
Agreed. I
Bracket.
was thinking the same thing.
Pittsburgh Steelers, after a disastrous Week 17, when all you needed to do was beat the Cleveland Browns. Beat the Cleveland Browns.
We're the Cleveland Browns.
Exactly. We punt. And all you would have would be, sure, the number 4 seed, but you wouldn't have no pressure.
Right.
Mason Rudolph could start this game. You could,
Skylar Thompson could play.
Skylar Thompson could play. You could rest up, your guys. You could take it easy on Freiermuth and Highsmith and all these other guys. And instead, you lose. The only touchdown in that game was Shedeur Sanders to Harold Fannin, which is just a fun sentence he didn't say of itself.
Shout out to Harold Fannin.
Exactly. And now you have to host Sunday night a Baltimore Ravens team, which I don't know if Lamar is playing in this game. But even so, coming off of a 4 rushing touchdown performance from Derrick Henry, with the division on the line, it feels rough. Look, you know me. Beginning of the year, what did I pick? Because I thought it was funny. A Steelers-Packers Super Bowl. Steelers are going to win this game for me, but they made it really unnecessarily tense in the end of the final run.
Right.
But I can definitely see Baltimore winning this game. I can see Pittsburgh winning this game. I can see Baltimore costing themselves the game with what they usually do, which is not run Derrick Henry in the final plays of the game.
The good old John Harbaugh special.
Yep.
Lamar is questionable right now. It'll be more clear tomorrow going into New Year's Day what his status will be. Even if he plays, he plays terribly in Pittsburgh. He's never really had the few times he's done well against the Steelers, it's in Baltimore.
Yeah.
Even if he plays, he would somehow have to overcome that. I think this is a lost season for the Ravens, and this is going to be the final nail in that coffin. I picked the Steelers as a wild card team going into the season, with the idea of Baltimore winning the division. Oh, how little I knew. My Steelers, wow. I think I was the only person of the 3. Oh, no, you had to have picked them because they were in your postseason finale. But you and I don't think Justin picked the Steelers as a wild card team. I think
Justin is not a friend of the show. We know this for a fact.
So I think I'm gonna go with the Steelers. I'm gonna go with them over the Ravens. And Mike Tomlin is going to get back here into the postseason. Aaron Rodgers in what could be, remember, the final year of his career gets a postseason run.
And I also believe this could be like a 15-10 game.
Oh, this game is going to be ugly.
It is. I can see this game being 5 field goals from Boswell, 1 rushing touchdown from Derrick Henry, and a field goal from Loop, and that's it.
Yep.
I can absolutely see that. And let me tell you something. Boswell needs a makeup game.
Mm-hmm.
Because he has looked very uncharacteristically shaky the past couple of weeks. He needs a game where he's just locked in, hitting from everywhere. You want the guy who hit from 60 in week 1 to come back and be in this game for them.
Yep.
But you're right. This it's one of those wrestling terms. But Jim Ross would call this game bowling shoe ugly.
Bowling shoe ugly. This is or as Jerry King Lawler would say, a pure 6 brawl.
Yes. My goodness.
This is going to be an ugly, ugly game.
It's not going to be pretty at all. And I think the best part about it is that it is a deeply, deeply bitter rivalry. You know?
Yep.
Whereas Cleveland and Cincinnati is just, hey, we're in the same state. We'll play each other. Okay, cool. That's fine. La 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 la. This is, we're going to kill you. No, we're going to kill you. No, we're going to kill you. And it might happen.
Adam Thielen could have a generational game to help.
Could you imagine?
to help out here?
Could you imagine?
Because DK is suspended.
He is,
Yeah.
and rightfully so. But could you imagine the football gods cooking up this scenario that in order for the Pittsburgh Steelers to make it back to the postseason, that you have to take the former quarterback of the Green Bay Packers and the former number 2 wide receiving star of the Minnesota Vikings to be on the same team?
Not just that, Rick. Not just that. Also on this roster, former Green Bay Packer vertical threat Marquez Valdez-Scantling, and former favorite of Arthur Smith, former Titans starting tight end Jonnu Smith.
And if I'm not mistaken, former Baltimore Raven Patrick Queen.
He might have a 2-sack game.
he may very well do so.
He will double his current season sack total. He's had 2 sacks since the Steelers signed him last season. He might put up 2 in this game.
The only thing to do, personally, the only thing to do for this game, if you're the Steelers, is to bring back the legends and let them run wild on the sideline. I'm talking about Joey Porter doing the coin toss. I'm talking about Jerome Bettis coming back for a game. I'm talking about Heath Miller being here as well. Polamalu.
Yep.
You know, hell, bring back Amos Zaraway. No one knows who he is, but still bring him back anyways.
Are Tommy Maddox is he available?
Cordell Stewart, maybe. Hines Ward.
Dude, screw it. Bring in Rashard Mendenhall and Mike Wallace.
Yes. Bring them all. Bring back Charlie Batch and Bubby Brister even.
There you go.
Why not?
Let them all in the building. Let the weight of the situation fall on Tyler Snoop Huntley.
Why not? Again, that's the thing. If it was Lamar in this game, I could potentially see it being a little more relevant. But you're right. Lamar has not played well in Pittsburgh at all. That might be the only thing that saves Baltimore's skin in this one, is that you're not relying on Lamar if he's not playing.
Yep.
But what do we know about the Ravens in big-time situations? There's a reason why they haven't won a Super Bowl in 15 years.
Yep.
Or gotten to one in 15 years, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, no, they... Yeah.
They haven't gotten more than that span of time either.
Yeah.
And just for context, many, many moons ago in the 2021 NFL season, on January 9th, 2022, in a 16-13 defeat, the Pittsburgh Steelers defeated the Baltimore Ravens in what I believe was the season finale of that season. And Tyler Huntley threw 2 interceptions in that game. Latavius Murray ran, fun fact for the Ravens, for 150 yards. The Steelers' leading rusher that day, Chase Claypool.
Oh, hey, look at that.
So Pat Freiermuth was also in that game.
Don't bring Chase Claypool back though. Whatever you do, keep him away.
No, he's banned from the building. But no, and that game was in Baltimore, by the way. The Steelers are built for this game.
Yes, they are. They are. Yep. Again, why make it that this tense? It's Steelers' way.
Yes. Make it a inhospitable environment for the Ravens players.
Make it so.
Fans, have class. Just because someone's wearing a different jersey does not mean you get to assault them.
True. Well,
Make the Ravens players shake more than Jarrett Allen does in Madison Square Garden. It's an NBA reference.
Oh, Jarrett Allen. Got it. I was like, Jarrett Allen, the United States Olympic curler? Like,
no.
Okay.
No. All right, Rick, let's go back to the top of the table here really fast.
All right, let's do it.
Panthers, Buccaneers, and Seahawks, Niners. We already touched upon those 2 games at the very start of the Pick Challenge finale, which it is way too many games for us to really go over the entire thing.
Yeah.
So we'll bring those results back next week to see if either of us somehow win 16-0. And we'll then eventually, if one of us do, we'll get a Vegas residency after that.
Yes.
But, Panthers, Buccaneers, Seahawks, Niners. my mindset for both games, like this is the definition of a season. NFL is a season and a war of attrition. The Panthers look like they just have. I mean, I picked the Buccaneers, funny enough, but like the Panthers seem to be a little healthier. But I feel like that Seahawks game was a bit of a stumbling block for them. I don't. I think they expected that game to be closer. I don't think they were really thinking to win, but I think they would have expected it to be closer. And that game is closer than the box score indicates. Seattle won that game pretty handily. I think Tampa a gutting loss to Miami, but I think you still have the swagger, you still have the belief, you still have the guys there. Relatively speaking, I think there is just enough for Tampa heart wise to win this game, and then they're going to need the Saints to win because of their losses. It is a situation where even if Tampa beats Carolina, if the Falcons beat the Saints and finish 8-9 because of all the tiebreakers between the three, the Panthers come out on top. Yeah. So if you're Tampa, this is twofold. You need to handle business, and you need Tyler Shuck to torch the Falcons.
How about that, right? You relying on New Orleans to be your knight in shining armor there. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that go against Carolina, primarily because their offense is just not spectacular. I think they're ranked 27th in total yards on offense and 27th in total points scored. What's saving the Panthers' bacon is their defense. The defense has been pretty solid. So yeah, I mean, I think Tampa's not fully healthy, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Like you said, Mayfield's questionable. Gadecki and Wirfs were questionable, and that's a little bit trickier for them because you need all your offensive line guys there. But Carolina's still missing some pieces too. Nothing really that crazy. I think the only one that might be a little surprising is Dowdle is questionable for this game, but he'll play. And if he doesn't, you have Hubbard, so I think he'll be okay. Let me tell you what this game also represents. This is Bryce Young's last shot. Yeah, you've got to win this game. You have got to just silence all doubters and not leave it to chance. Because you were taken number one for a reason. I don't really know why. CJ Stroud's better than you. We all know it. Just search your feelings. You know it to be true. But if you're Carolina and Bryce Young doesn't deliver, if he puts up another stinker like he did last week, where he threw for 54 yards, you got to start questioning what are we doing? Like what check down universe did this guy crawl out from? And yeah, it's just you have to figure things out on that side. So they have good weapons all around. Ted McMillan's a fantastic deep ball threat. Dowdle and Hubbard, I mentioned them; they're great. But if Bryce Young's not distributing the ball well enough, and he hasn't been consistent, there's your problem right there. Your problem right there is the quarterback spot. And Tampa's defense is good. They'll probably, do what needs to be done. But I gotta be honest with you. Like I said, this is Carolina's shot here to be the 4 seed and actually go to the playoffs. And who knows, maybe make a bit of a surprising run here. But it has to be Bryce Young that does the job. Otherwise, you're done for. Again, don't rely on other people to do the job for you. Get it done yourself.
For everything that has been said about the Bryce Young number 1 selection,
I've said a lot.
We all have.
Yes.
This podcast picked CJ Stroud for a mock draft.
We did.
Dave Tepper made the call for Bryce. No matter what anyone will try to say, no matter what anyone will refute, real ballers know. Dave Tepper made that selection, forced that selection.
Yep.
This is where your franchise first overall pick has to play like it. And if he can't win this game, not a lot of faith he can win more after that.
No, absolutely not. None.
In terms of this magnitude of this importance for this franchise, Week 18 was last year that Falcons-Panthers duel. Bryce Young played really well, gave a lot of people faith coming into the season. Struggled.
Yep.
Great midway point though.
Yep.
You got to finish strong.
Yep.
And he played well against Tampa a couple weeks ago. You got to do it again. Consistency is the hallmark of being the face of a franchise.
Yep.
Simply put, Tampa Tampa can potentially win this game if Baker is fine.
Right.
Carolina cannot win this game if Bryce Young does not play at a high level.
That's the big key right there. Is that again, like you said, Tampa can skate on a mediocre effort from Baker Mayfield. They can skate by. But if Carolina gets a mediocre effort from Bryce Young, they're not scoring a touchdown in this game at all.
Yeah,
it's all Joey Sly field goals at the end of the day. That ain't worth it.
Yeah, Seattle, San Fran. I feel like I kind of said my piece earlier when we were making the picks.
Yeah,
like two vastly different teams. The confidence of Sam Darnold and this crew. JSN emerging as like really a top 4, top 5 receiver of the game this season. You could argue like top 2 in terms of just straight performance this individual season. If Seattle, the one flaw to me on the offense is just the balancing of the rushing attack or the lack thereof. I think they still need to work kinks out there. If they could do that this game, if they could keep that healthy balance, if that defense can keep playing at a really good level, Devin Witherspoon is a really great number 1 corner.
Yes.
Really great number 1 corner. Like this is a talented team. There's talent at every single level of the ball. I think San Fran, great performance against Chicago, but the defense has allowed way too many high-scoring games recently.
Yeah.
And this should be a similar one, and I think it'll be a little bit too much this time. Seattle being the number 1 seed in this NFL season would be crazy. And they need to take advantage of that. You want to talk about taking advantage of opportunities? This is a prime opportunity. If you are Sam Darnold, everything that everyone said a year ago when you lost to only 2 teams all of last season, everything that people that are uneducated and don't have a proper license to talk football, Stephen, what was being said about you earlier this season, you can put it all away here.
Yeah.
Get it done. Simply put, get it done. And I think Sam Darnold this season has really delivered. Got to do at minimum one more time.
It's so amazing to me to watch how good a guy is when his coaching staff is on point and not Adam Gase.
Yeah. Right.
The big key for me is going to be that first possession because no one knows who's getting the ball first. Obviously, it's a coin toss. But that first possession is key for 2 reasons. One, if San Fran's on offense, an early touchdown by McCaffrey is going to light that place on fire. Or an early Purdy to Jennings or whatever is going to light that place on fire. And that's going to make it even harder for Seattle to – they're already going to be up against the wall, basically. But if Seattle gets the ball first and they are able to punch it in, that's going to quiet that crowd in San Fran considerably.
Yeah.
And that's going to give Seattle more of an edge. Look, the Seahawks are used to playing in a loud venue. But you can go to somewhere and silence the opposing arena by essentially doing what the Falcons did and punching them in the mouth. If you can do that, you're golden. So that's why the first possession is really key. And conversely, on defense, San Fran gets a big stop on Seattle, crowd will go nuts. Seattle shuts down San Fran on the first go-around, crowd's on edge, crowd's uneasy. And then the players will be on edge, and then that's going to lead to more of that. I think this is going to be a duel. I really do. I think you're looking at, like you said, another high-scoring, fast-paced, frenetic, goes down to the last possession type of game. But it all starts from possession 1 on both sides, and that's going to be the big key in this one.
Indeed. I'm with you. I think this could be a classic NFC West shootout.
Oh, yeah.
Whoever gets ball last might win.
51-47.
That would be a game to say.
Oh, yeah. Yep. I think Mike McDonald would lose all his hair if that was the case. But, a defensive guy like him allowing 47 points and still getting a win, I don't think he'd be happy about that.
He would lose it. Kyle Shanahan might lose some of his hair if he loses a game like that.
That's true. That's very true.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, there's Week 18. All of our picks made. We'll see if one of us can pull off the improbable, incomprehensible 16-0 and go from there. We've reviewed the important matchups. We've reviewed the important games. We've had some fun. Let's finish things off with something that we want to implement a little bit more here going forward on the program. And that is a fun tier list, to say the very least. Once I'm able to get things going, naturally, Rick, now of all times, Google wants to be an issue for me.
That's unfortunate.
Yes, but no, I think we'll be able to get this going here.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for an eliminated teams tier list. So, if you look at your wonderful screen, of course, we have made an exception for the teams that are in the postseason, fighting for the playoffs there.
Yep.
Playoff bound there.
Yep.
So we have, as of now, 4 categories to rank the remaining teams across the National Football League. We have you just missed out, 1 or 2 games, 1 or 2 bad bounces away. Could have gotten it. Got some work to do. It's going to be a couple teams in that one. 2025 was not kind, whether it be just rough performances, a lot of unluckiness, everything, injuries, whatever. And then just straight up, you're not a good team.
You're basic.
Yeah. So let's do this in order. I think, relatively speaking, I don't know if we're going to have too many disagreements here, Rick. So let's start this off. Let's start with the Arizona Cardinals here. Where are we throwing them into here?
They have some good pieces on this team. You know how much I love McBride. Michael Wilson had a really solid season this year, I think, as their breakout wide receiver. But they got to figure out their quarterback situation because Kyler Murray is just not the answer there. Brissett's been okay, but Brissett's not a starting quarterback. We know this for a fact.
Right.
I don't think the Cardinals are a good team.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
I don't think so.
All right. You are not a good team, Arizona. All right. The Atlanta Falcons. Now, it's funny because they could play a role inside the NFC South.
Yeah.
They're obviously a good team, but it feels like they have more than just some work to do. Like 2025, it just did not feel like a kind season, whether it be questions about Michael Penix, once again, questions about the offensive coordinating, the questionable choices of trading up in the draft and now losing a first-round pick to the Rams, mind you.
Yep.
Just 2025, I would put the Falcons in 2025 was not kind to them.
You know what's funny about the Falcons? They're a top 5 rushing offense.
That's the one thing they can hang their hat on.
That's all about Bijan and Algier.
Yep.
I'm torn between got some work to do and not kind. I'll lean more on your side towards not kind. But I think they have I think they have work to do with regards to Michael Penix might not be the answer, man. And again, you drafted up. See, when we did our mock draft, if I recall this correctly, I think I had Atlanta's pick at 8. And I believe I picked Quinion Mitchell out of Toledo, the corner. Look where he is now in Philadelphia. Look at how he's been. He's been a pretty solid player. That would have been your selection there, not Penix. Especially when you have Kirk Cousins. The problem is that Kirk Cousins is doing well enough where you could make a legitimate argument for, hey, let's bring him back for 1 more year and see what happens.
Can't confirm, by the way, you did have the 8th pick and you did pick Quinion Mitchell to the Falcons.
Boom. So yeah, it wasn't kind. I think Penix's days might be numbered depending on how they, what happens in the offseason, and we'll see. But I think it wasn't kind of them. They need some more help, but not terrible.
Yeah,
they're not a bad team. They're just not a good spot right now.
All right, Bengals.
I'm gonna go. It's not gonna match, but I'm gonna go just missed out because again, if Burrow's not hurt, this team is good.
Yeah.
That's just the thing. When Burrow gets hurt, they're just not good. I mean, they started Jake Browning. It didn't work out. They got Flacco. They beat Pittsburgh on the Thursday night game, right?
They got 2 good weeks out of him and then just fell off.
Yeah. And then Burrow came back, and Burrow's been Burrow. I think they realized also this season that you have to put a little more of a premium on defense. Like the fact that they're, still working out this Trey Hendrickson nonsense. And also the fact that the Shamar Stewart saga to open a training camp, which is a bad harbinger of things to come. I say just missed out, but if you want to drop them down, they got some work to do because of that defense situation. I'll have no qualms on that end.
Yeah, it's tough because I'm with you. I think if Burrow was allowed to have been fully healthy this year,
Yeah.
I think it's so hard because from the injury perspective, it's just missed out. But I still think from the roster building perspective, they have some work to do. Like I'm so torn between them. Like, let's keep them there for now. And if we
Yeah.
think that if we start to put few many teams there that we think have a better case than Cincy, we can bump them down.
That's fair. That's fair. I like that.
Now, I think we're going to have no qualms on this one. You are not a good team, Cleveland.
No. You have a great player, Myles Garrett, but that's it.
Yeah, you're not good.
Nope.
You want to skip ahead and just put Vegas there real quick?
Yeah, might as well.
Like,
Might as well. Again, good pieces: Brock Bowers, Genty, Crosby if he stays, but not good anywhere else.
it takes more than 3 guys to help the starting 22.
It sure does.
So there's that. All right, the Dallas Cowboys.
Not a good team. I don't know, man.
I think with what Jerry Jones did with how he handled the Micah Parsons thing, it's so weird. They know how to draft offensive linemen. They drafted another kid here in 2025 that did great work for them, right? In Booker. I think he had a good year.
Yeah, but all Jerry's doing is finding kids named Tyler and drafting them.
Once he signs Tyler Linderbaum in free agency, Rick, he'll be.
No.
Like, Dak played well. CD played well. Javonte Williams turned up a little bit too late. If they could have gotten him playing better early in the season, the offensive line is there. The defense was a tire fire.
Yeah.
All 4 tires being on fire.
Pickens was hit or miss.
Pickens, but when CD went down, George Pickens actually played really well.
Oh yeah.
I think 2025 was more unkind to them. I think there's I know you don't like the Cowboys, but
all right.
There's so much there that
I mean,
like I don't know. I think if this season was replayed once or twice, I think they might be the 7th seed now. Like, if things play out differently, I really do. So, but I also don't think I think they have a little bit more than some work to do. Like, these two are sort of interchangeable, but I think 2025 was not kind to Dallas.
I will also say through the transitive property, they essentially traded Micah Parsons for Quinn Williams, with Kenny Clark being a stopgap in the middle.
Right. Which,
what a stopgap he was.
Yeah, he didn't play well. PFF didn't. I don't think they graded him well, and I think Kenny Clark has 0 guaranteed money next season. I'll be shocked.
Yep, out of the league.
Yeah, potentially. All right, Detroit. I mean, how do we put them other than just missed out?
Because they got some work to do.
Ooh, all right. Let's put them there for now. State the case, Rick.
Jared Goff has been disappointing this year. Laporta was hurt. He was on IR most of the year. They went away from what worked last year, which was a 2-headed attack in Gibbs and Montgomery, relying primarily on Gibbs. Montgomery, I think, so has total yards fall off a cliff, basically. And aside from Aiden Hutchinson and Jack Campbell, nobody on that defense to me has had sterling seasons, in my eyes. Again, this is the Lions team that a lot of people picked to go to the Super Bowl. And they're a loss away from a losing record.
Yeah.
So to me, that tells me you got some work to do. And that's not just missed out, because it's there's a lot more to it than just one piece here, one piece there.
Yeah, and also to your point, like with the Bengals, there is a conceivable way to say, if they had Joe Burrow the full year, look, he put up 14 touchdowns and 4 interceptions in limited action.
Yeah.
He was probably going to put up a similar season to last year.
Yep.
Like, it was no injury to the Lions. There was last year, their starters and their bench players were getting hurt.
Yep.
Last year, we could say just missed out. This year, not just depth, not just starters, because they're going to have to start making decisions here soon on some of these contracts.
They are.
There is a outside shot. This could have been the last year of the Gibbs-Montgomery duo.
I agree.
Gibbs is going to be due a contract here soon, though.
And again, that's more to my point, is that we were talking about earlier, is that you can't excuse an 8-9 record when you didn't have any injuries, but you had all this hype and all this expectation. If it happened last year with all the injuries they had, you're forgiven. But not this year, not with all everything. Because again, even though they had Hutchinson was out last year, they were still a play away from the Super Bowl last year.
You know? Well, they lost to the Commanders.
Well, yeah. I mean, a couple plays away. A couple wins away here or there. They figured out the con artist and Aaron Glenn. So but this year, you need to get new pieces and figure things out.
Yep. Indy. What about that? I think Indy is just missed out. I think it's a summer thing. I think it wouldn't have been perfect, but I don't think they go 0-6 if Daniel Jones had still been able to start. I think they could have at least gone 3-3 or 2-4.
That's why I'm going to put them in not kind for me, because you're absolutely right. They were trending towards being a top seed, a top team. And then Daniel Jones gets hurt, and it all breaks away from there. Jonathan Taylor was trending towards 2,000 plus yards, and then it all breaks away from there.
Oh, they destroyed his MVP case. I hate it so much.
They were there. This is going to be the season of what if for the Colts. Now, again, towards the end of his run before he got hurt, Jones was regressing slightly, I would say, but he was still playing lights out football.
Right.
But what could have been, man? Yeah. We could be talking about 3 AFC South teams in the postseason.
Legitimately.
We could, if that was the case, we could have been talking about season
Bills
where you
the Chargers missing the postseason.
Exactly, along with the Ravens and the Chiefs and all these, and what would that have been? That would have been a wild atmosphere, right? Yeah. So, but instead we're talking about the Colts. 44-year-old Phillip Rivers played well for what he did, but it was never going to be the same.
Right. All right. I'm gonna because these are we still have a couple AFC teams. I'm gonna do these next two in a pair. And you tell me your thoughts on each one, Rick. I'm going to put the Chiefs in got some work to do. And I'm going to put the Dolphins in 2025 was unkind to them. My justification for both is that I think the Chiefs, I think you realize, and we spoke about this a couple weeks ago with Justin, there's more holes on the roster than I think, a non-prime Patrick Mahomes season showed how much of an issue there is. Which, by the way, let's just mention something. Travis Kelce, this could be the final game of his career this weekend.
It should be.
They don't have a suitable tight end to replace him because we already talked about Noah Gray is not a suitable starting tight end. Great backup tight end, not a suitable starting tight end for you.
Yep.
And I just think the defense around Chris Jones, George Karlaftis, and McDuffie, they still need Nick Bolt. It's not perfect by any stretch, and some of their best guys did. I still stand by it. Chris Jones did not have a good year. And I went back and checked with George Karlaftis. There was a month straight he didn't register a sack.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that this team needs to work on. They need to re-add some depth. They need to get pieces. They need to get. There are going to be a couple new starters next season. They need to figure out the running back room. The wide receivers need to get their heads on straight.
Absolutely.
Everything. So they got some work to do. Dolphins 2025 was not kind. I would say that about any team that realize that their starting quarterback that they drafted high up is not the guy. That's an unkind year to you.
Yep. The more I look at the Dolphins, the more I'm kind of agreeing with you because it wasn't just what we all knew was going to happen with Tua. I mean, look, some of us on this podcast rated him very low in our quarterback rankings list for an obvious reason because we were prescient about the future and knowing that he'd be replaced by a guy with a burnt orange Aston Martin. Just saying. But it wasn't just that. Tyreek, that injury was brutal.
Yeah.
Brutal injury, and it really killed their chances. And then they traded away Jalen Phillips.
Yep.
They didn't trade Bradley Chubb, which really threw me for a loop.
Right.
So, I mean, you could definitely say one or the other. They had work to do. They did some work, but it didn't really do anything. Yeah, I suppose they're not kind there. And the Chiefs, it's crazy to me. It really is. The fall from grace is just something where, tell me if I'm wrong here, they're 6-10, right?
That sounds about right, yep.
When was the last time that they lost 10 games in a season?
I can get that for you in a moment.
Yeah, it's unfathomable to think about that because of how dominant they've been over the years. but it showed you the holes on offense, the holes on defense. You need a new kicker in Harrison Butker.
So the last time they had a double-digit loss season was 2012 when they went 2-14.
That was a Romeo Crennel year.
Correct.
Yeah. So this is their worst year under Andy Reid.
Yep.
That's saying something. So yeah, they have a lot of soul searching to do this offseason.
Yeah.
And they're going to have to fill a void because you're right. I think Kelsey's done after this game. I think Gray's not really a suitable tight end one. Maybe they pick somebody up, but I can't really see it. So, yeah, lots of work to do in Kansas City. In Kansas City, Kansas might be it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another thing.
Yeah.
Hold on. This is my take. If they really are going to be moving from Arrowhead, I think with what happened with the Warriors, with them moving from Oracle, or as it was called, the Roracle, to the Chase Center.
Yep.
First off, I hate to use this term because I know it's overused, but Aura goes down. Arrowhead is rocking. Arrowhead is
I was going to say, were you going to say -5 stars?
Oh, that too. No, moving from Arrowhead, I genuinely, people might think I'm crazy. I think part of the reason the Warriors don't have the same impact that they do is because they left the Oracle. They left the hardcore fans. They priced out the hardcore fans. I think you're going to see that happen in this case. I think if the Chiefs really do leave Arrowhead permanently, no, I don't care. No, they're going to fall.
The identity of and the imagery of everything too got lost because remember that Golden State logo of the 2000s when they were in the Oracle, the Warrior with the lightning bolt. Now they're just the bridge.
I love that. I love that logo. Some people don't like that old Warriors logo. I love that logo.
The 90s logos were dude. We got to do a tier list with 90s logos.
Oh, we will.
90s and specifically NBA logos in the 90s were amazing.
Yes.
But so that's the thing too is that I can then see a world in which you see that arrowhead around the KC logo.
Yep.
Wave it by the way. They're going to get rid of that in a few years once they move out of Arrowhead.
Honestly, I didn't even think of that. I think you're right.
Yeah, it's going to happen. They're going to go with the simple KC font, and that's it. It's going to be the end of an era, and it's going to be crushing.
Yeah,
it's going to be crushing, and that's what they're going to do because they're selling out to the fact that they're moving away. It's brutal. It's brutal, but that's what's going to happen. So,
oof. And on that depressing note,
yeah, how about
that? So I paired these two, Rick. Where do you want to put Minnesota and New Orleans?
Oof. New Orleans, I'm going to go 2025 was not kind. Because again, it all started with Derek Carr retiring after the draft. That threw a whole wrench into their system. They figured it out down the stretch with Tyler Shuck, but there's still things that are there that are not super, but they're in a good spot. I think. I see. My thing is that I would almost flip the 2025 was not kind with the got some work to do. I think got some work to do is a little more pejorative. I would almost flip those two tiers to me because I think if you're saying 2025 was not kind, I think you're saying, well, you got a good enough team, but it just wasn't your year to me.
I think it could go I think they're interchangeable. I think I mean, as we see, the caliber of teams in 2025 was not kind compared to the caliber of teams that got some work to do.
I agree.
We believe these contenders have work to do that can get back. 2025 was not kind of where it's okay, you needed there were still good things, but there were things that held you back. I think that's where the differentiation is.
I agree with that.
I just find it amazing. The Bengals might be the only team where we're putting Just Smith out because these five. I don't know if any of these five are going in unless.
That's what I'm thinking. Honestly, the Vikings got some work to do. I think for me, they have to figure out why Justin Jefferson went missing. Because have you seen his fantasy numbers?
Oh, it fell off a cliff.
He fell off a cliff, and I think a lot of it had to do with McCarthy, obviously. But also, what have we known for many years about this Vikings team? I think you're also one of the first ones that have said it constantly. The defense is porous, man.
Yeah, too inconsistent.
The defense is not good. So they have to shore up. And again, Dallas Turner, where has he been?
You mentioning him is the first time I've heard his name all season.
Right? Exactly. all that hype and all that play about him being the dynamic defender, haven't seen it.
He was supposed to be Will Anderson for that draft.
Yep.
He was supposed to be that whatever team's Will Anderson.
Haven't seen it.
Oof.
So they got work to do, especially in that division. You got a lot of work to do over there.
Yep, and I'm relatively confident. Let's save ourselves a little bit of time here. 1, 2, 3. Look, even if the Giants we mentioned earlier, I feel bad for Jackson Dart. Cam Scatterbo and Malik Neighbors went out. That offensive line, aside from Andrew Thomas, is not great. That running back room, I don't know. I'm not in love with it. I think they need to find a legitimate number one back, and not a superstar running back necessarily, but a guy that you can buy to be a legitimate every down back for them, or almost every down back in some way, shape, or form. The tight end room, there's my summary, and then the defense was just so hit or miss. Like we said, there's 22 starters on the field. You need more than 3. You need more than 5. So I would personally put the Giants there because, even if Neighbors and Scatterbo were healthy, I don't think they're even touching the wild card picture. So
it's not just Scatterbo and Neighbors. Micah McFadden would have been a good guy to have on defenses like their middle linebacker core. But he was hurt all year. I mean, I thought I was going to say not kind, but the more you talk about it, the more it made sense. I mean, listen, even Andrew Thomas is not stellar. I think you're seeing that. This offensive line is built by cardboard. When you still employ Darius Slayton for some reason, I think they still employ him because I think his name is Steve. Because Steve Slayton was a much better wide receiver than Darius Slayton ever will be.
Do you think they're confusing? They just see Slayton, they assume Steve Slayton is somehow in town.
It's spelled differently, guys. I don't know how you can. No, that's Steve. That's definitely Steve. Steve. Yeah.
So Giants payroll has no idea what they're doing.
None whatsoever. Steve Slayton's getting checks like, I'm not even playing for this. What are you talking about, dude? And Darius Slayton's like, where's the money? The Giants' defense is not good. Like you said, the secondary is atrocious. A lot of that has to do with coaching or lack thereof. Coaching, to be honest with you, because they're Shane Bowen was a con artist. I love saying that they were con artists because they were con artists. They weren't. And again, the epitome of the season for the Giants is Young Wei Koo not kicking the football but kicking the turf, and then on that play, Jamie Gillen gets hurt. So it's like Keystone Cops over there.
It impresses me that this could be the final season of Young Wei Koo's career when he was one of the best kickers for so long.
I know, but now he's been beaten out by a lefty. Good old Ben Sauls. Giants aren't good. Jets are worse.
Yeah,
Jets are a worse.
The Jets and Titans could almost get their own tier here.
I think they probably should. I think you should make a new tier for the Jets and Titans saying keep it a buck they ass. Because that's basically what it is. The Jets, Oh my God. Yep. Yeah. Keep it a buck.
Number color didn't change out.
Keep it a buck. They ass. I mean that's the Cam Ward. That's the Cam Ward line right there. Yeah. The Jets are awful, man. It's all over the field. They're bad. And the funny thing is, again, you gotta feel bad for Justin Fields because he's not a prime NFL quarterback. Does he have any interceptions this season to his name?
7 touchdowns and 1 interception.
One interception.
Ironically, he also threw 1 interception last year. He might be the only quarterback that is he's played. I don't have the starting number in front of me, but he's played 19 games over the last 2 seasons. He's only thrown 2 total interceptions.
He's the most hated quarterback that has done nothing wrong. You feel bad for the guy. I mean,
he does have his deficiencies, but I just don't think he was ever put in a great. I don't think he was ever put in a good position with this team.
No, he wasn't.
The play calling is terrible.
Yep.
It's just not good. There's not enough talent there.
Nope.
The offensive line, probably the one bright spot of this team with the youngsters on it, but then you just need to hope that, the problem with the Jets, here's the weird thing. The Jets can find offensive linemen, but F me, man, they can't stay healthy. Look at Mekhi Becton once he was moved into the interior and could play double-digit games. He's actually a good starting guard in this league. He just
Yeah,
can be starting tackle for you.
I almost forgot about Elijah Barrett Tucker. He's he just can't stay on the field. I
I,
feel
I,
like
I I bet you if he goes somewhere else, they will find a way to keep him healthy. He's going to put together consecutive 17 game played seasons somehow. Like it's
Pro Bowl nods back to back years, absolutely. All pros back to back nods, absolutely. Um, I also feel like Alan Lazard is that John Travolta meme because all the other Packers players that were on the Jets left, and he's just standing there like, where did we go? He's the disaster. The only thing I can say is that Darren Bougie has made some really good decisions from a GM standpoint. I mean, for everything that he hasn't been, Adonai Mitchell getting a second chance is always a nice thing. Same with John Mechie. Um, and getting rid of Gardner and Williams, like you knew it was going to be a bad season. So getting those guys for the draft picks they have, that's phenomenal. Good on them. I don't think they need to go quarterback, but they probably will because it's Jets. And then there's the Titans, who are just an absolute calamity or train wreck. The last thing I'll say about the Jets, too, though, it's impressive that you can give up 23 points in 4 straight weeks, and you're a defensive head coach, and you fired the defense coordinator for making the plays, and you made the plays this week, and you allowed 35 first half points. Con artist.
I would be surprised if he still has a job to
He's not. He's fired this season. He has to be.
And our last team, Rick.
Well, I know we didn't say much about the Titans for good reason, but like,
right.
Who wants to go coach there?
Cam Ward has played better in the last quarter of the season.
He has.
Gotta give him credit. Tony Pollard's had a couple games, but he's just there. Yep. They have no wide receivers whatsoever. No tight ends to speak of. The offensive line, they've even struggled. Like Skoronski, what happened to him?
I don't know, man.
And the defense is just like, keep it a buck.
Keep it a buck.
They're not good.
No, they're not good. They are not good at all.
I would personally put 2025 was not kind for the Commanders. I think this is a case where even though, like somewhat similar with Mahomes, where the Jaden Daniels injury, I think, exposed a lot more about Washington than we originally. Let's say, keep it real. Everyone thought in the preseason. Not a lot of podcasters were going against the Washington hype train.
Yep.
The Daniels injury showed that maybe there's some more limitations than we thought to the offensive skill position group. I'm sorry, I still think the Brian Robinson trade was not the best, even though maybe we're going to lose him. Like, what the hell?
Oh, you're antivirus. Uh-oh.
Okay, then. How did that happen?
Hey, there we go.
I didn't even click anything.
So here's the thing. I agree with you on that sentiment, but I also think that they shot themselves in the foot by not keeping Brian Robinson. Trying to rely on Austin Eckler, who was past his prime and got hurt.
I think that genuinely led to Eckler's injury as well. Like I'm sorry, Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt. I have made this point about running backs before, and I'm going to make this point again. Yes, can you plug in a starting running back onto a team and they could probably get you 1,000+ yards? Absolutely. I'm sure maybe next year Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt could pass the 1,000-yard mark if he starts the whole season. Yeah. But there is a clear difference. I'm not saying Brian Robinson is this guy. Let me clarify. But there is a clear difference between an all-pro caliber running back and just a running back.
Oh, yeah.
I think Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt is just a running back.
I agree with that. I mean, their running back room was Krosky-Merritt, Chris Rodriguez, and Jeremy McNichols. I'm not impressed by any of those names. Yeah. Where did Terry McLaurin go this year?
Still there.
He's there, if you think, but I don't really see much from him. This was a team at one point that had, a really good wide receiver room. And they traded a Samuel for a Samuel, right? They got rid of Curtis Samuel for a Debo Samuel.
Yep.
And Debo hasn't been good this year.
Yeah. He had one or two games, but it didn't end up well. And Terry McLaurin missed time due to injury this season.
What I will say too about I agree with you in your estimation of where they go. It's not just the Jaden Daniels injury. It really was not condom because of the Zach Ertz injury.
Yep.
Oh, if there's ever a guy you feel bad for, it's Zach Ertz.
Yes.
I mean, one of the great ambassadors of the game, and then to have his leg whipped out like that, that's not the way you want to go out. Unfortunately,
Right.
I think if Washington was smarter about it, they would have traded Ertz to a contender, let him try and get one more run in the Super Bowl, like the Raymond Bork thing with Colorado and Buffalo Boston all those years ago.
Right.
Instead of trying to hold on to a dream, but and the defense was
They were exposed this season. Like
oh
they were one of the older units last year. They were able to get away with it.
yeah.
And not this year.
But there was a time when they had Jonathan Allen and Deron Payne and Chase Young on their front line.
Yeah.
They
and
were feared.
Montez
And
Sweat.
they were feared.
They need to rebuild that defense, to say the least.
They do. Johnny Newton's not the answer in the interior. They need to get another D tackle. Honestly, here's the scary thing is look at what Chicago's done. They took a number of guys on their defensive front, along with a couple of tackles. And it's helped them win both sides of the trench. You know? And it's an embarrassment of riches, but it's helped them win both sides of the trench. That's what you got to do. You got to get enough bodies over there to rotate around. You know? So that's what I think they can do. But, yeah, I wasn't kind of them. We'll see 2026 hold up for them. I like where our list is.
There's our first tier list, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Listen, I like where it is. I agree. I mean, Cincinnati being the only team that we call just missed out, I think makes perfect sense. Because again, if Burrow doesn't get hurt, they're in the playoffs.
Honestly, with how the AFC North went, they might have won the division.
Yeah, absolutely. Not surprising.
So, yep. That is our 2025 eliminated teams tier list, and we will have another tier list here in the next week or so for the playoff teams, ranking them based on how real they are as a Super Bowl contender, most likely.
I like it.
I think we'll have a little bit of fun there. Podfather, confirming with you, do we have a red podium to finish the episode, or
I have a very basic one this time around. Yep,
let's do it
because we are coming up to the end of the year and going into the new year. And I hate New Year's Eve. I really. And let me give you some reasons as to why it's put on a rant podium here. Tourists, go home. Go back to your own place. Stop crowding New York City to stand in the pen where you can't leave to go to the bathroom. You have to wear diapers for like 10 hours. It's stupid. All to watch some ball drop in freezing cold weather and maybe kiss a sailor that you're never going to see again. What's the point in all of that? It's stupid to me. Driving on New Year's Eve is atrocious because, New Year's Eve to me is like a weekend. My father used to tell me that the worst drivers in the world were weekend drivers because they would take the car out for the first time all week and they wouldn't know what to do, and here they are going 20 miles an hour in the left lane on the parkway. Once 50 minimum. That's what New Year's Eve is like. It's like people are overcautious or they're overzealous. And there's no happy medium. So, if you can avoid driving on New Year's Eve, please do. That's the best thing for me. Champagne is very overrated. It is. I get it's the drink of kings and queens and Justin, but it's if you get a sweet champagne, great. But when you get a dry champagne, ugh, that thing tastes horrible. I've never had anything to drink where my mouth has been more dry after drinking it than before I drank it. That's what dry champagne is. It's like it's a liquid, but then it makes your mouth feel like the driest thing ever. Noisemakers, to quote the Grinch, the noise. No, thank you. Hard pass. I think we did something, my family, years ago. We were over at my aunt's house. We did a New Year's Eve thing. We had noisemakers. And her poor dogs. These two big black labs that were asleep. One of them was fat because he was diabetic. That's not there. He just was awakened from his slumber by the noisemakers and everything. I mean, it felt so bad for him. It's like those stories you hear about fireworks, startling, a colony of starlings, and they all fly into a building. It was kind of like that. Like, and fireworks too. Look, I'm gonna point this out. I got a neighbor who lives behind me. He likes shooting off fireworks. You know what the problem is with that? My house is right next to his, and my daughter's room is looking over his backyard.
Oh boy.
So she's gonna want to sleep. She ain't gonna sleep because this maniac is lighting off, Grucci fireworks behind me, for crying out loud. It's ridiculous. I just don't like New Year's Eve in general. The New Year in general to me is just, it's a weird concept. It's stupid. I think for me it's one of my three least favorite holidays.
Ooh.
Holidays that they list. New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, like, combined as one.
Right.
I used to, and I still kind of hate it, Valentine's Day, because it's a Hallmark holiday. Like, it doesn't mean anything. Like, you could, my date anniversary is 2 weeks later. That's the day I celebrate more instead of Valentine's Day, because it's. And again, if you're single on Valentine's Day, it reminds you just of like the pains of being single.
Indeed, it does.
I mean, you can look at it in a positive way, but like there's no Happy Singles Awareness Day cards, and then Arbor Day, because screw trees, screw trees, screw tree huggers. Why do I need to give you a day? Like why? It's stupid. But yeah, I mean, I guess that's my rant of the week. That used to be the same, and so the podium was the rant of the week. That. We used to go back and forth on that. I was going to say, if I had an actual podium this week, it would be three very simple things. It would be time, money, and lack of sleep.
Yeah, honestly, fair.
Yeah.
Fair. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, that being said, that was the final rant podium of 2025. Leave a comment in this YouTube video if you've made it all the way to the end. Did you know / remember Arbor Day was a holiday? And if you think you did, guess what day of the year it's on?
Oh, God.
Yeah, they're not going to get it if they don't Google it.
You're never going to know.
So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us for the last edition of the Rant Podium, the Pick Challenge, and all that good stuff for the 2025 NFL season and the 2025 calendar year as a whole. This was our last show here, just finishing up on New Year's Eve. Thank you so much for joining us on this week's edition, filled with fun, football, and chaos. Coming back next week, we will have the full playoff picture. We'll give you predictions, breakdown, and more for the wild card round. The regular season will be put to bed, but may it arise, the NFL playoffs. Time has come to crown a new superb hell champion in a month and a half's time, give or take. So, thank you so much for joining us in 2025. We hope all of you had a wonderful holiday over the past week or so. It was hopefully the last couple of weeks. It's been a good Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, Festivus, and all the more that you celebrate, ladies and gentlemen. And we hope that it is going to be a good New Year. Like the Podfather said, he's not a fan of the New Year. I definitely know around this time of year it could be tough in terms of like the feelings and like what you can get in your own head in the holiday season and the New Year. So from us to you, we hope that you've had the best possible end to this year that you can. We hope it is a fantastic start to 2026 for all of you, and to all you beautiful people who listen in to our skullduggery and our shenanigans here on a weekly basis. We appreciate it. Thank you for joining us for another year of programs, on to 2026 and much, much more. You beautiful people, have a good night, and we'll see you guys next time. Take care.